Party. We are on the air. It's not our first show. It's, I don't know, our
1860th.
Yes, 1860th show. It's been a wonderful year, 2014. Hi, and hi, Paul. We are here. This is America's Third Party. Oh, I've got the wrong backgrounds. Excuse me.
It's Freedom Friday.
Oh, I have the right background then. Never mind. I forgot. It is Freedom Friday after all. Freedom Friday. Welcome. So I hope you're all enjoying our holidays, the holiday season, winter break in this wonderful freedom country that we live in. That's funny. It's wonderful to believe that we're free. Yes, you did just see Jesse Ventura. Have you watched all of his conspiracy theory shows, Paul? Or what are they called? Conspiracy with Jesse Ventura. Anyway, I believe he has them all on YouTube. I was playing it as a pre-show to my show, and then I'll be showing it again at the end of our show. So stick around in 3 hours and you'll get to see Jesse Ventura again.
You're going to be playing the Bilderberger?
But in the meantime, you get to see David Sponheim. He's just as good, I would say.
How's it
Maybe
going?
better than Ventura.
Well, I'm trying to talk like Jesse. I can't do Jesse's voice. He's got a really growly voice. Okay, hi everybody.
Merry
Welcome
Christmas, Happy New Year, Lenny. Carl.
You can tell it's a new shirt because it's got these like folded
The
wrinkles.
folded lines.
I'm going to go ahead and put a jacket on.
That's not fun.
Ban that person immediately.
Bye.
Whoever that was, they're banned.
Should I turn off guest chat too?
No, yeah, well, if you're going to click on guest links, they don't have guest links, so no, keep guest chat on. Don't punish
I think
people.
Guest chat might be off.
Well, turn it on.
Turn it on?
They want to come on in. Hey, everybody.
Okay. And then if the guests get too bad, I'll turn it off, and then we'll just keep it like that.
It's amazing how these
No
extra large
censorship.
shirts are...
Yes, censorship.
Yeah, that collar isn't working with this jacket. I'm going to have to wear my leather jacket.
Okay.
You know, I'm amazed
I
how
love
these
you,
collars
too.
they collapse once you pull the paper out.
Oh, the collars, they collapse, yes.
Yeah,
Thank you,
you
Uncle
pull the
Lester.
paper out, they collapse on you. They become very supple. And yeah. The first couple.
I knew off a dog that he's trying to get, noticed.
What, with things like that?
Ed.
Oh, yeah. John Edwards got noticed. He had
Not John Edwards.
He had a bid for the presidency.
Your friend Ed, the
He's not
homeless
my
guy.
friend, Sarah.
Okay, the guy that comes in here.
Yeah. Who's with that collar? God.
It needs to be steamed right here.
Well, it's not a matter. It came out of
Wait,
a brand new package. It's ridiculous. Is that?
It's because of the tie.
Thank you. All right. Awesome tie. Yeah. Thank you. Well, she got me an extra large, and I said, it's a real loose around the neck, but man, I feel like I'm free in here. I mean, I move around. It's just such a, I expect a tight collar. I don't have one. All right, thank you. No, it's a $55 Nautica shirt that someone picked up on sale at Ross for Less for $13.99.
Yeah, Alpha Dog that too.
Feels great. I mean, it's great, all cotton, but I'll deal with it. It'll get better over time. All right, so how is everybody?
He prefers wearing something that's a big collar.
Well, I like you like a big collar?
You do.
Oh yeah. Well, this is really loose. I mean, this is like 2 inches loose, which is, I feel like I'm swimming in it. So did Elvis. Elvis liked a big collar too. Yeah, well, we have a lot of things to talk about. Obviously, the false flag regarding North Korea, again, hasn't panned out and hasn't triggered nuclear war like Obama and his CIA agents want him to do.
Panning out more is Xbox and Sony being hacked.
Yeah, and was Xbox and Sony really hacked by the same people like North Korea? I mean, seriously. I think it's more likely an inside job within our own nation. I'm beginning to wonder if they're just creating it's a scenario where somebody's hacking our system, so therefore they're going to take out the electric grid. I don't know. I mean, I just saw a show called Red Dawn on Netflix, and it talked about a North Korean takeover of our nation using an electromagnetic pulse. And I think for all intents and purposes, it would suffice to say that the more they point the finger at North Korea, the more likely we're going to think it's North Korea that does that, right? Well, let's be clear. But, they're creating the environment for something. It's like, the lead up to something big. I wish they would solve the problem with the economy, but they never do. And they just print more money. So that's still a lingering conflict that could very well lead to a crash. Anything could happen. If our nation had a 3-day power outage, or a 5-day, or a 2-week, or a 3-month power outage, forget the stock market, it wouldn't even matter. Tell me about it. The shirt collar is way too big. The only way I could correct it is if I put a safety pin back here. I'll do that. I'll be right back.
Okay. One tough cookie? I don't know about that. Maybe, but I think I could be a tough cookie as well. Alright, that was, do I recommend investing in forever stamps? All stamps are now forever stamps. So, I do recommend buying a book of stamps when you need stamps instead of just buying 1 or 2. Because eventually they'll raise prices on you all the time. You feel like Sony was hacked by Sony. The movie leaks are diversion. What's matter is the movie budget listing, the payoff, and 1,000 email describing the corruption of
How do we know it was
Sony executives.
What was the original statement that Sony got? Did they get a threatening email? Does anybody know that they got a threatening email?
Before they did.
Not Sony. I'm talking about. No, I got it. I'm talking about not Sony. I'm talking about.
He did just change outfits.
This is ridiculous.
Okay. You must be a Republican. You want to watch those two shower together. Governor Snyder of Michigan signed a bill for random drug tests of welfare users. What do I think of that? Agree or disagree?
I'm just going to have to take it back.
Yeah.
It's too bad. It really is.
You have the receipt and all that.
I'm going to have to repackage. It'll be a while.
Okay.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I said 16 and a half, 34, 35. It doesn't take a lot to do.
I know.
That's ridiculous. I got to pick up all the packaging and rebuild the whole thing. Oh, yeah.
That's just between 2 ponds. You're sorry last night. Well, you could split it by going 3 on one and 4 on another. That's what I would say, rubber ducky. That's what I would think. Okay.
Yeah, I gotta repack the whole thing. All right, I'll just throw it all together in a package. Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, you're correct, rubber ducky. It's not a pure split, but I think the people playing with you would say you could do that. I don't know. All right. As far as the drug testing on welfare people, what I would like to see is all U.S. citizens have a certain baseline. Don't drug test anyone. And then people that want to work beyond that, work and get extra money. And then if they don't use that money, it could go back into the system. Yes, you're right. The people that put it on the card was wrong. When I split my dinner, I give more to the other person usually than taking more. I'm not going to change into anything other than myself. Hi, Rod from Canada. Yes, David wants to ensure that the same household isn't claiming multiple adults on welfare and scamming the system. That's true. I would like to see all. I know, yes, my shirt does have too much green in it. I'll just cover it up. No postage. They don't have a local postage place where you are? Clubs? No postal club? No local postage clubs there? Oh, yes, the hoverball is a dome that slides on the ground. You're right. But it's like half a ball. Okay. Yeah, but in the meantime, until we get the welfare system sorted out,
Yeah, thank you,
I
though.
will. I understand what the governor of Michigan is trying to do, but I don't think that there's. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced that there's enough jobs for everyone out there. The governor of Michigan is trying to drug test all welfare recipients.
Yeah. I think it's outstretching their bounds, personally. First of all, drug testing is going to be too costly. Gosh. Hey, thank you, man. Blackface 2 came out last night. I got it in around 12 o'clock. Thank you so much. Yeah, it was a good edited version. The whole thing is just kind of like says it all, man. I just had to lay it on the line. I can't stand thinking that I didn't do anything to question Barack Obama under an immense amount of pressure from a lot of people to do it, and to parody a president that's been such a bad president was fun. I enjoyed it. It was really good. Yeah, thank you. And you guys can promote that because we are not being promoted at all on YouTube. All our sites are locked down. The hit counters won't move. Classic censorship has been going on. We'll get to Ducky in just a second. So if he says anything bad, we'll ban him.
I know he has been using some foul language. Watch your language, Rubber Ducky.
Well, I don't know. Question is, do you feel lucky? Well,
thank you.
Do ya? Punk? All right, Obama increases allowable levels of radiation in drinking water dramatically. Wow, thank you. This is amazing. You know, a president that doesn't mention Fukushima in the 2 years or 3 years it's going on, 3 years now, 2011, doesn't mention it at all and goes ahead and allows legislation, backs it for allowing higher radiation levels in water. This is from Natural Society. Scarf. Naturalsociety.com has this. Your scarf is lovely, yeah. I don't think this is visible, though. It has to go higher. Is there a way of cinching it up higher? Like right there. Stars. It's a snowflake, yeah.
I was wearing it a couple days ago.
It's a pretty color on her, yeah. Yeah, he doesn't mention bananas either, and you think this is a joke? Talking about the worst radiation that ever spilled into the Pacific Ocean, an ocean that's literally dying. All the intertidal zones are dying, and you're saying he hasn't mentioned bananas either? Wow. Boy, are you out of it. That's a ninja star. He's a total joke. And I'm surprised the Republicans haven't been much more active just railing on him. I mean, if this was Warren Harding, they'd be, the Republicans would be going, whoa, I don't know. And the Democrats would be railing on. Warren Harding was a Republican, I'm pretty sure. Let me make sure.
Okay.
I'm doing fact checking myself. Republican from Ohio who served in Calvin Coolidge's administration, yeah.
Obama has said that race relations are better now than when he entered office.
He actually said that on the heels of him saying, whoa, look at the danger level there. See, splashing. Danger, danger. Yeah, the ocean is polluted, and now Obama increases allowable levels of radiation in drinking water dramatically. So you get the picture here? Does everybody understand what's happening? We're being lied to and ignored.
Thank you, Meow TV2. Yes, everybody click that. And then let's see if it stays at 9 views later today, because David says it's just gonna.
Yeah, 9 views.
That
right.
They'll
lock down on
lock down on it, and
they
it'll
do.
stay at 9 views.
I've got
no
one
matter
that's
if we
stayed.
have 100 people clicking it.
Oh, thousands of people. Warren Harding. Wow. Age 57. He died at age 57. I wonder what he died of. He sought the best minds in the cabinet, including Andrew Mellon. You know, Carnegie Mellon University, of Andrew Mellon fame. Multiple cases of corruption were exposed during his presidency and after his death, including the notorious Teapot Dome scandal that happened under Warren Harding. David, do you think one day that we'll live on the ocean floor as predicted in the theme park Epcot in the 1980s? Absolutely not. The ocean floor is inhabitable.
I don't think we live on the ocean floor, but maybe floating in the ocean on little mini islands. Well, not necessarily islands, because they wouldn't be land. Mini boats. Boat-like island-like boats. Island-like boats, yes.
Are you talking about a person named .com?
I think it's
He changed his name.
Kim.com.
Has he changed his name to Kim.com?
I don't know about .com. I don't know, but I do know
Clarify
it has
that.
to do with Mega and Mega Upload, and it's like a BitTorrent site. And
His name is Kim.com. Oh, yeah, that's a real name, yeah. David, will have a transcontinental tunnel ever? No, I'm sorry. The weight and pressure and the cost to put a transcontinental underwater railway is impossible. The best you can hope for is a rubber raft that you can get on, and your trips to Europe will be probably in a Kon-Tiki kind of thing coming up after the apocalypse. You'll be able to make your own Kon-Tiki out of reeds and go to the Europe that way. Forget the high-speed maglev rail train. It's not going to happen. It's cost ineffective. I'd like to make it happen in piecemeal, but everybody out there in government seems to think we just throw money at something and we can make it happen instantly and then never get our money back. Yeah, Thor Heyerdahl. And if you haven't seen Kon-Tiki 2, it's out, by the way. It's a great documentary.
this is him. Kim.com.
Is he some sort of a hacker or something?
He's a German-Finnish internet entrepreneur, and then the Lizard Squad, he's playing, they say he's...
Hackers strike again.
Let's play this. Leave it.
Okay, go ahead.
Gamers just getting back online after a group known as Lizard Squad takes credit for outages on Xbox.
Lizard people.
Yeah, he's obviously a front for the CIA. Hey Dave, where's Sarah tonight?
Hey, discount big buddy. Good buddy.
Yeah, the fact is he looks like Michael Moore, but a younger version, and therefore he's completely owned and operated by the government. Anybody who's hacking nowadays is probably a government employee. I'm assuming that almost all hackers in America and the world around are working directly for the FBI and the CIA. Hang on, we got a problem who's really not making me feel good, and I just had a kind of a feel bad moment in which someone demoralized me, so I banned them from the show. Anytime somebody demoralizes me and says, hey Dave, you look bad, I definitely get them out of here. Okay, what's going on with the Lizard Squad? Who cares? Yeah, let's just move on, all right? I was more interested in this article about allowing higher levels of radiation in drinking water. Just check this out. Here's a president who doesn't care about fluoridation, which is lowering our IQ, but rather accepts the idea that it's time for a massive new dumping of Daiichi radiation into our bodies. A Japanese government official has reported, "I was overwhelmed by the amount of contaminated water coming from the reactors. We must dump it in the ocean." This came out last week. You remember this? This isn't such great news for the U.S. since Obama and the Environmental Protection Agency recently gave their approval for dramatically raising permissible radioactive levels in drinking water and soil following radiological incidences such as nuclear power plant accidents and dirty bombs. Without even calling a spade, he's refusing to talk about Fukushima or, for that matter, Fort Calhoun that leached into the Missouri River over the past 4 years. He won't talk about the specifics, and the Nuclear Regulatory Commission has never done anything to stop these plants from continuing to pollute, but he raises the allowable levels of radiation. Can you believe this idiot? I'm talking about radiation in our oceans and in our water supply. Let me calm down. I'm going to go find my tie, my patriotic tie. I'm still looking for it.
Okay. You wish. Not Bill Cosby. Or me, either. I was just... So they say that this is their new normal, according to the public employees of environmental responsibilities, a higher acceptable level of radiation in drinking water.
That's ridiculous. That is completely ridiculous. Coming from a country that allows fluoridation in most of its municipal water supply. For what reason? There's not one stitch of evidence that fluoride lowers cavities in drinking water.
Yeah. And so I think we could get rid of fluoridation in drinking water and at least monitor the amount of radiation in drinking water. Not necessarily put a limit on it, but just say this is how much radiation is in your drinking water. So people can make the choice themselves of what they want to drink. I'm probably not going to click on that scissor fight. So you say in the Pacific, the Ring of Fire and the 472 undersea volcanoes spew more radiation per day than 10,000 Fukushimas exploding every day.
That's coming out of Meow TV. Is that a Meow TV-ism? Is that a Meow TV-ism? That he's full of crap. He is full of crap. He's completely... Take a bowel movement, man. It's time. You're completely full of it. The man is a walking, talking bowel movement.
So
my God.
Bernie Sanders is doing that? I will click, let's see. He was saying he'll decide by March. Okay. He's an interesting guy. I'll say that.
All right, so the last thing we're going to do is pay homage to the lizard people, okay?
Okay.
Those are the people getting promoted in America, are the lizard people. And a guy who hacks our computer systems and hacks Sony. What you're looking at, folks, is classic false flag activity where they promote some idiot. They might as well say Perez Hilton is the guy doing this. I mean, it's ridiculous. I'm not a reptilian. You're a reptilian. You're trying to destroy the only chance the American people have of a good, honest person leading this nation. I don't believe MRI is going to be more red. So, do the research about Fukushima and how many amount, 52 to 60,000 gallons a day. That's the equivalent of 6 large swimming pools flooding into the Pacific Ocean of radioactive water every day. The thoughts on saving the green people? Democrats and liberals who are extreme environmentalists are causing more environmental damage than any other group in the world right now. They have purposely made it impossible to mine oil, yet I'm sure they all completely burn gas out of their cars, but they make it so that companies have to drill a mile out, a mile deep. They cut off the Keystone Pipeline, which would have prevented the massive shipment of oil across the ocean, which is going to endanger the Pacific and the Atlantic Ocean. Think about it. Think about it. They made it so that our government is completely useless when it comes to Nuclear Regulatory Commission activities. And they don't even talk about the spent fuel rods that are sitting all around our nation. They're just like tree huggers, yeah. I just don't. I'm not a tree hugger. I'm sorry. I may be a guy who likes to hug the leaves, but at least I understand we live in a pragmatic world where we have to make some sort of a decision that protects the environment yet allows for the growth of business and opportunity for people. All right. I don't know whose the lizard people are, and I could care less. That's like talking about the Kardashians right now. Yeah, if you demoralize, then I'm going to censor you because this is about building up our belief in ourselves and about building up our belief in America. If somebody walks in and says, "Oh, David, you look like a buck-teeth freak," they're obviously jealous of me and they want to ruin any opportunity we have to feel good about ourselves. Yeah. I don't think Kim is real, and I don't think this lizard guy is real. All right. Balrog, I don't need to build myself up. I personally have a great self-esteem, but for people to come in here and demoralize what we're doing, that makes all the people who are watching the show feel like, gee, why am I even bothering? This guy obviously is, being attacked by these people. I better go away. Most men are jealous of me, yeah. I'm a manly man, and I can see how a lot of people, would feel threatened by a guy with my type of machismo. I've got machismo oozing out of my body, out of my pores.
Somehow.
You
got it. Looks good.
If you're a very, very wealthy guy in America right now, you could care less about the future of our country. It's people that are living kind of on the edge, like we do. We're careful with our funding. We care about our country.
GMO-free would be great.
GMO-free would be great. But where are the Democrats on that? The Democrats won't even make a stand against GMOs. Seriously. The Democrats won't even make a stand against any kind of oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico now. Obama hasn't done anything to clean it up. Is the tie still not fixed? Okay. Why don't you come into the camera and fix the tie for me? All of you. A three-dimensional tie fixing event. Yeah, I know. I love this jacket. I love it so much. Oh, that's not going to be acceptable for them, Sarah. See, there's a little space right here. You see that? No. That's the part that's really upsetting them.
What, this?
They see a little spot right there and they say, fix your tie. You see how superficial they are?
No, like...
Not you. I'm talking about the people that are superficial. Oh, that's great. Just pull my hair, too. Yeah, I keep the tag on my jacket to know that I really can't afford a jacket that's this valuable, this expensive. So we bought it on sale at an outlet center. Yeah. All right. Whatever. That's my point. They see there.
Oh, no. What?
I will acknowledge Kwanzaa. Yeah. Kwanzaa clause.
It has to go higher?
What they want is a tie hanging like this, and they want me hanging from it. That's what they really want. They don't really want a tie that's actually fixed. Okay. Console casts were like a drought. Yeah, I know. Twitch TV were great. I was on Twitch TV today, and Twitch did not go down. Twitch was up there. You notice the coffee all over the shirt, the stain, see that? Well, this is why I had the other shirt on. You see, I can't win with these people. They've got eyes that are like X-ray vision on the show, and they can see everything. We stream on Twitch every day.
A different game every day. Today it was Battlefield 3, which we finished, and then we went back to Call of Duty Black Ops. What kind of level? Advanced level.
Okay, what did Sarah do for Christmas? Okay, well, we did a lot of fun stuff. We've got all kinds of fun stuff. Our gaming site is Cool Rock Party. And this is where we started, by the way. We started in 2005 as Cool Rock Party. And we thought, wow, people really want... Okay, Sarah will talk in just a second. People really want renewable energy ideas. So we said, well, we're worried about the planet heating up, but we're not in any way in favor of cap and trade legislation and carbon point legislation. I didn't want any of that. So we thought, Cool Rock Party. Build a party around sensible innovations that will save the planet without having to push everybody into the corner and say, well, the planet's not heating up. Well, the planet is heating up. Well, it's cooling down. It's heating up. No. Bottom line is nobody wants to breathe pollution. And Cool Rock Party was dedicated to building solutions. And then we said, hey, well, we want to go mainstream with this. So we just retitled it America's Third Party. So now Cool Rock Party is a gaming platform, and the coolrock.com will be a gaming venue.
I don't have that one yet. 3973.
But right now we're focusing
I got
on
this
politics.
scarf for Christmas.
I believe it. Obama's been playing Pocket Billiards 1, and he's moving up to 2 once a ball descends.
I also got some cool jewelry.
Exactly. The Earth's been cooling since 1997. Good point. We love you. There's a guy and his brother in Colorado who are designing a vehicle that runs on urine. Absolutely.
I got some super soft socks.
Thank you. Yeah, I gave Sarah some super soft socks and some thermals for her, for going to bed when she wants to keep her legs warm.
Which is all the time. I live in thermals.
I know there's a total difference between climate change and global warming, but often confused as the same. Yeah, and I don't support cap and trade. I don't support carbon point legislation, but I do support innovation, which the government doesn't even want to get into. Well, when is Kwanzaa exactly?
Now.
Is it today?
Yeah.
Okay. I am getting Sarah something.
I'll give you a kiss.
Oh, thank you.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy Kwanzaa. I have some African artifacts in the other room that I could bring in and give you. Immigrants are getting driver's licenses, especially in LA and Washington State, right? Thank you for the kiss. Maybe I will kiss you.
Oh, that's so sweet. That was like the first kiss David ever gave me on air.
Isn't that great? I love it.
Wow.
I love it. But, kissing on the lips is going to wait.
I don't have 10 pounds of makeup on. I just have a little bit of eyeshadow on.
No, Frank Taylor hasn't submitted his application yet. We're waiting it. I know, I was blushing. You're jelly? Wow. She doesn't need to wear makeup at all.
Thank you, Doctor Who. You want to vote for something for a better America? I agree with you, people. I will make it to the polls and vote for you. Just make sure your campaign is filled with the most joy.
Stay true with your love.
You've ever had. Stay true
thank you,
with your
Doctor
love.
Who.
You too. Thank you.
Doctor Who, one of the best musical groups of the 1970s. Whatever happened to Doctor Who, They were a weird group. I mean, they did a lot of fun stuff, experimental. I don't think they ever got the deserving public attention they deserved. You have footage of me kissing her on the lips on Niagara Falls? I don't believe that. That only played for less than 2 seconds. I've just alluded to it over the years. Yeah, Doctor Who was a pretty interesting rock group back in the 70s. Okay, welcome to Freedom Friday. Yeah. Oh, now it's a BBC TV show. Oh, Doctor
Yes.
Who. Oh, okay. It's a British sitcom. Of course. Thank you. Michael Brown has been approved for sainthood by the Vatican, and I believe the Castro brothers are going to give out an honorary dozen cigars to the family.
Who was the
Who. Thank you. It wasn't Doctor Who. It's the Who. No. Oh, I'm thinking of Dr. Hook. See?
Dr. Hook?
My mind has alluded.
Hook.
Dr. Hook
I've
was a
never
rock
heard
group from the 70s.
Dr. Hook?
Dr. Hook and the Medicine Show. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Believe it or not, this was the Rolling Stone. They actually made the Rolling Stone. On the cover of the Rolling Stone. Dr. Hook and the Medicine Man. Shortened in 1975 to Dr. Hook, was an American rock band formed around Union City, New Jersey. They enjoyed considerable commercial success in the 1970s with hit singles like Sylvia's Mother, the cover of Rolling Stone. They did the cover of Rolling Stone. How about that? Man, things are, kind of tangential tonight. Let's focus.
Oh, they sing Sylvia's Mother?
Mike?
Oh.
Okay. I saw the movie The Interview. It's very racist, as there are no black actors except for the band. There's a movie right now, Kwanzaa Kwaz. Check it out. Thank you. It's the story of a British gay man from the 50s that travels in time and space with 2 hearts.
Yeah, remember we were watching Doctor Who,
Doctor Who,
and you were like, I don't like this because he's gay and all that.
It was weird. That's one of the reasons why I just gave up on a lot of British television because of the overwhelming presence of homosexuals.
You people are awesome. Thank you,
I'm just
Doctor
kidding.
Who.
It's a joke.
And wasn't his name Jack in the movie Doctor Who?
Yeah. Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole. Peter O'Toole died last year. I believe he was
Red Dawn was the
famous
movie.
alcoholic. I'm not giving up on anything. What Obama has accomplished, the Koch brothers will never accomplish. You know, I don't
We're
trust.
not cook puppets.
I'm not a big supporter of the Koch brothers. I don't support George Soros and Obama either. You like Top Gear? Didn't we get Top Gear? We got a game called Top Gear, I think.
Gears of War.
Oh, Gears of War. So yeah, everything's also confusing now. There's too much information out there. TMI.
TMI, let's just shut it down.
Well, there was a day when I would pick up a phone and dial a phone call with a little rotary dial. It was one ringy dingy, two ringy dingy. This is my internet. Hello? Anybody there?
And you would have the
You have no teeth.
you would have the what receptionist on the line with you. David, why are you telling them all those secrets?
I would never do that. I
would just pick up the operator.
Yeah.
Hello, operator?
Believe it or not, it
You'd
was a
have the
thrill.
operator on
It
the
was.
line with you.
Back a long time ago, you could call an operator on the phone. I don't know if this is still possible on some of the phone systems, but back in the old days, you could actually call and go and dial 0, and you get an operator, and she'd have this wonderful voice, not like hello from India. How may I help you? It was more like, hi, how can I help you, sir?
Hello, sir. May I help you?
How can I provide you most excellent service?
In the old days, you just picked up the phone and you say, "Can you connect me to so and so?"
Yeah, and
They didn't have a dial tone thing.
we support integration, but not forced. Not forced integration. Yeah, they had operators standing by back in the 1960s and 50s, and my mother was one of those operators at Radio City Music Hall. She actually met Nelson Rockefeller, and she had an opportunity to become a very, very, very interesting New Yorkite. She lived in New York, my mother did, during the old days, and she was, one of those old-fashioned operators. I have a picture of one of them somewhere.
Yeah, when they put the thing in those tubes.
Yeah.
The whatever tubes they're called.
That's what she did, yeah.
Sending messages all around Rockefeller Center.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I don't have it with me right now, but whatever. Okay, Technology Freedom Friday. All right. These never sold. We put these on eBay for a year, and they never sold. Not one person wanted a clingy on their window.
I know, I made those.
Sarah made these and put them all together, and she says, maybe they'll buy them. And we put them out on eBay, and nobody wanted to put clingies on their windows. It's kind of funny.
Cling. Each little letter clings to
Yeah.
the window.
Yes. One ringy dingy, two ringy dingies. Lily Tomlin played an electronic switch operator. Well, not me, Uncle Lester. Here's a guy who claimed he made a 36-cent donation last week, and we didn't even get one. I asked $10 for each of those. That was for donation money. I mean, if we were going to mail it, include it in the $10. It's not too much. You'd buy a clingy? Yeah, that was our asking price, but no one wanted to buy a clingy. We still have the clingies if you want them. That included shipping, yeah. I've got extra long legal size envelopes, so $4.50 would go to the demonstration. I don't have it out right now. You buy 1,000 for $100? Really? Well, let me go get them and see what I can put
I
together.
don't think I have 1,000 of them. I just have a few.
I can make
I maybe
1,000.
have 1 or 2 or 3 of them. The clingies are awesome. They are pretty cool. I worked on them. I made them from, there's like different cling ones that they had him, and I said, David, I could cut them up and make them. You would like one? Are you U.S. citizen? I know. I just keep this around just so I can use it as a throwing star. I just hold it right there so I can just smash it and then throw it at someone. No, just kidding. I am perfectly happy where I am, 15242. I like my life. Yes, the Chinese ones are way more pointy than this and not as sharp. If I cut my neck, it would be like oozing blood if I cut it with a real Chinese throwing star. You'd buy one for $10 now? Okay, well, we'll have to put them on eBay and then you can buy them next week. No. Thank you. No, I'm not under David's thumb. David did not pick up. I don't know why David did not pick up. I have the phone turned on, I believe. No, it says just that. It says America's third party. That's what it says.
Okay, therein lies the problem.
You're finding them?
They can be, yeah, we can fold them and put them in a legal size envelope.
There's 3 of them, right?
Yeah, there's 3 of them. And we can fold them and mail them like that. So for $5.30 shipping, you can have America's third party on your window. Okay? And they're folded over. There's like 2 layers here. So you just fold them over and we can send them out, yeah. Okay, so the next $10 donation that comes in will get this mailed to them. I have to fold them. They're perfectly foldable. They're gel. Nobody wants that? Okay, so if you don't want to make a $10 donation and you're just pulling my string, this is funny to you? Check out what we got recently. Sarah spotted these in the clearance section at Walmart. And they're placemats.
It's like a
paper table cover. 88 inches by 56 inches. 54 by 88. And I was thinking this would be a great backdrop in a motel room. If we ever go to a motel and we want to do a show, we could just hang it on the wall and have a flag behind us. 75 cents a piece at the clearance section at Walmart. Graybeard shaman, that's terrible. Don't ever go there. You're not a licensed conduit, and you have no approval whatsoever to gather things for America's third party.
We haven't
played it yet. I haven't played Red Dead Redemption. I'm saving it for a special moment when I'm really pissed off. Boy, your mind is really in the gutter, Guest 466. Let's get down to reality here. We've got a lot of problems in the country, and I'm not at all happy with what we've got from Barack Obama, which is more constant confusion for the American people, not knowing what we're doing. I mean, we're sending $500 million of your taxes going to rebel troops in Syria, mind you. Get that. Breaching the sovereignty of Bashar al-Assad.
Good night.
And then we're going in and flying and surgically striking rebel forces in Syria. So we're shooting the people after we give money, or we give money after we shoot them? I mean, when do we give them the money? Before or after we shoot them? No, I don't get super stoned. That's a big mistake. This is a long tie. I mean, check out how long it is. I think I should like lift it up or something. All right, so the first $10 donation will go to toward getting one of those in the mail. You can put it on your window. $10 gets you that in the mail to your house. Phone is available.
You're not calling on the phone.
No one's calling right now. Hawk, it's never good to get super stoned. 5% of marijuana users develop arrhythmia. That's what some of the statistics I'm reading show. Cool. No, I will not. I'm serious. If you send the $10 to us, I will send it right to that address. And we don't even have to report it to the FCC.
As long as you haven't donated $45 before.
Right. If you haven't donated $45 before, and I'm sure you haven't. I think that's what I disliked about this shirt. It's a white shirt with a blue collar, even though it didn't fit. I mean, come on. You're going to make a white shirt, you don't want to put blue anywhere. High red satin lace. How are you? Well, people have arrhythmia who hit the vaporizer really hard, They can develop arrhythmia. I heard of one guy having a heart attack, but he still survived.
I guess
I'm just telling you guys.
Give
it
you
can,
36 cents, David. You
Uncle
got
Lester
two of
just
them.
sent us 36.
No,
that was
you got-
Wesley.
No, yes, you got one from Wesley, and you got one from Uncle
Oh,
Lester.
I'm sorry, Uncle Lester. I stand corrected.
He didn't see because of how PayPal
I stand
or
corrected. I'm
Gmail it stacks things in
Okay.
conversations.
It's a heart condition, arrhythmia. It happens when people are, obviously higher than a kite, and they go, "Am I high? I don't know what's going on." And they start to get fibrillations. Yeah. Palpitations. Those are the first signs of arrhythmia. Oh, we've got a phone call. Hold on just a second.
You're welcome. I'm glad I acknowledged you. Good. Okay. I'm glad I looked. I have to go see, though, of course, if those charge any fees, but I'm sure it'll be fine.
I don't take calls from people that don't leave their name. So if you really want to call 707, your ATP. We'll talk to you right now live.
Did you happen to get one of those holiday burgers, Christmas burgers,
I didn't.
Uncle Lester? I wasn't talking to you.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm sorry. You're talking to your friend Uncle Lester online. I'm glad I'm not a jealous guy.
Good. You got one. Did it work? You just called him up and said, "I really want to make Christmas burger, please."
Yeah.
That's good. Was it good? Was it extra special? More secret sauce? That's so weird. It's like it's kind of see-through.
This is one of the nicest shirts out there, but
It looks see-through. On here.
it's kind of a
Does it have
see-through.
like a green tint?
It's a blend. It's a kind of a blend.
I
And
know, David. has
it's got to go back to
green
Ross for less. It was a $55 Nautica shirt, marked down to $13.99. And I'm going to have to get my money and apply it on a purchase at Ross for less. Maybe I'll get something cool like a...
Another shirt.
No, well, I'll see. I like white shirts, I do. Sarah does look well rested, yeah.
Someone said I look like I need a nap.
Well, 398, I know. We've ratified it. John Kerry ratified the Small Arms Treaty.
Actually, I have been well rested this
Congress has to ratify treaties. You're right. So just because John Kerry signed it like the clone of Barack Obama that he is.
David always wears a black shirt on Monday.
You know, I resent what you're saying. You're saying that I'm somehow Jewish? Oy vey. What makes you think that?
No,
Oy gewalt.
I don't think so. I don't think I'm sunburned. I just didn't wear any foundation today.
Yeah, you gotta
But I
leave your
did
name.
wear some eyeshadow, blue eyeshadow. I was giving some blue eyeshadow to one of David's sisters, and she said, I don't use any eyeshadow. So I said, okay, fine, then I'll use it.
I'm not Jewish. I don't know what your problem is. God. Even if I was, I mean, would that be a big deal if I was?
Good.
God, what's
Enjoy
your
your
problem,
lasagna. A lasagna is fantastic.
Oh,
Is it
yes.
homemade or is it one of those frozen jobbies? Those frozen ones are actually pretty good.
It would matter,
They know how to
Balrog?
make it
Yeah.
there.
So if I were Jewish, you wouldn't need me in the room, huh?
Connie is here. I'm glad that I will tell her that you love her.
Du bist Juden, David. Nein,
Homemade
ich
with
nicht bin
fresh
Juden.
veggies and all. That's awesome. Was it like from Christmas? You had lasagna at Christmas and have it left over? Is it an after Christmas tradition? Yeah, true. Drag King. She's very good looking.
Who's that?
Your sister.
Oh, yeah, she's a movie star. She's a wannabe movie star.
Well, she's a star teacher.
You know, if I were famous right now, my sister would, by the time she turns 80, would become the next Joan Rivers. I guarantee it.
Yes, of course.
I guarantee it.
And she'd be talking all about all of the. Alex Jones would be turning to her for information. Let's just say that.
Exactly.
Next up is New Year's. Exactly.
She came in the room. My sister came in the other day, and she said,
Oh, that's awesome.
I just woke up. I just woke up from a good night's sleep. Less than a minute later. Hang on, I got it. Yeah, We're not going to take your call unless you actually have your name. I just woke up and she says, David, did you know that the government is supporting sodomy and abortions?
Oh yes, funding. I think
funding and
was
no,
the
and
term.
supporting. I think, was it funding? I know, I was there. She said the government supports sodomy and abortions. It's like, I just woke up. It's like, wow, where is it the government is supporting sodomy? And sure enough, Barack Obama signed and ratified the NDAA program, National Defense Authorization Act, which allows sodomy
You got
in the
me on
military.
TV too. That was a look on my face, like, what?
Yeah, funding sodomy, that was it. Yeah. Anyway,
I can't even replicate the look I had on my face.
well, they hire people in the military. So technically, you could say, well, since the government now allows sodomy in the military and bestiality because it's actually embedded in NDAA. No, she never did. No.
That was when we weren't speaking. We're speaking now, so everything's fine.
Yeah, we're all on speaking terms now.
I don't
Thank you.
even know if that person still exists. I hope. I don't know.
And then it occurred to me that, and then she started spouting off on various
Maybe I'll
issues.
Put that away.
No, I got it. And she started spouting off on various issues, it's anyone who listens to neocon people online who are trying to freak people out, just to get donations, mind you. Many of them live off their donations. They're neocons that are predicting the end of the world at any time, predicting the takeover of our country by communists. I'm concerned about that too. Don't get me wrong, but to profit from that, fear-mongering is a mistake. No, I don't enjoy marijuana cigarettes. I would prefer to vape.
He was putting a shirt in a bag.
Marijuana cigarettes are full of
So he's bagging up the shirt to return.
they're full of tar. You want to get tar out of your smoke. If you want to do a marijuana cigarette, you want to get a vaporizer. And I'll show you my new Christmas present.
I say, what is that? 2537. Never mind, I don't want to know. Some bacteria is good for you. No, just for the holidays, 4400.
No, she just came by for the holidays. This is the newest technology for vaporizing. Somebody suggested getting one of these online. It's called Cloudpore. And the marijuana, the herb, or any kind of residue goes in there, and it has a little stopper, and it's part of the breathing apparatus.
I don't touch that.
Now, Sarah's never smoked marijuana in her life.
I never will.
But this is
I
the
don't drink
state-of-the-art vaporizer, and it was $12.99. Now, I haven't. Does this look like it's been used? I don't vape at all, but I'd like to consider it if I ever bother to drag myself to one of these overpriced recreational dispensaries in Washington.
And I don't drink alcohol, and I don't drink coffee, and I don't do any stimulants or depressants, whatever those things are.
Look it up online. I'm not going to endorse the product, but look it up online. And I haven't tried it yet, but this is the state of the art, and it's like $13 on eBay.
It might be interesting to find other people that don't do any drugs or caffeine.
Sarah does that. She
I'm like
actually,
the only person
the only
I
one.
know that's like that.
Did you buy and return shoes after wearing them once?
Yeah, I have done that.
She did that.
Especially when they're $150 shoes. Yes.
Really?
If they're $150 and they don't fit my feet, I will return them if I wear them once. Yes.
In Washington, you are not allowed to grow marijuana for personal use. Now, in California, anyone with a medical marijuana permit can,
No.
but not in Washington. Maybe if you have a medical marijuana permit, you could. I don't know, but any recreational user is not allowed to grow it.
It's not unethical or bad for the
It's
economy.
extremely good for the economy. Legalization is part of our platform, and if you're not with it, then you're probably not one of us. Yeah, you probably need to go vote a Republican or something in the upcoming election. I hate to say it, but if you're not in favor of legalization, don't bother supporting a third party, because really, we want to be trendy, and frankly, that's the trend.
Do you try on shoes at the shoe store? When you try them on, then, someone else has to try them on? It's just that I tried them on a little bit longer than other people.
Yeah, it was just like you wore them for, 5 hours?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
And there weren't too many stains.
There wasn't any stains.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke.
Took very good care of those shoes.
Well, let's be clear. Well, this has been great fun. Let's just wrap it up and call it a night and forget about the next 2 hours, because I really would rather just, make light talk on Friday night and just go to bed. All right? But for all of you who want to continue the show, I will stay on as a robotic representative of America's third party. Let me engage my robotic personality, and then we will continue to do our show, and you'll enjoy it. Because our robot's been trained to behave just as I would in any situation. Let us read the chat now. Do you have anything else you would like to say, Sarah?
No, I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Mr. Roboto would like to speak? Slap him. I met a guy one time who claimed to wrestle alligators. And he did this robot thing out in the middle of the streets of Westwood, California back in the 70s. I'm not a racist, and I do not support white rights and Aryan resistance. I'm against all that. I'm in favor of Americans, all of us, getting equal opportunity. Right now I'm hearing Oregon wants to legalize marijuana. I think that's great. Keep it up. All the states that could do it. What if 50 states legalize marijuana? Then the federal government is going to have to say, well, okay. Right now we've got a total hypocrite for a president who would love to just do whatever behind scenes, like with crack cocaine or marijuana, whatever he's smoking. Yet tell the American people that they're going to be prosecuted for having marijuana. I mean, what a hypocrite. Even recently, last week, he said that all the Native Americans can grow it on the reservations and profit from it, but he still won't legalize it. I mean, what is wrong with this guy? And what is wrong with all the Democrats that continue going, wow, Brock, what should we do next? Not realizing that he's screwing our country over everywhere he turns. Well, we would have a vape room. I've talked about creating a humidor with a vape in it, running continuously. You walk into the vape room, and most of that is like rolling around in a stainless steel, stickless environment. I have this envision a humidor with hydrophobic material over all the walls, stainless steel walls. It's kind of like walking into a bong.
I would.
And having this constant flow of vape going in there. So you walk in and you're like, oh, this is too good. I gotta get out of here. Literally. And you can't stay in the humidor longer than 2 or 3 minutes. Otherwise it could cause irreparable damage to your brain. He is the worst in 8 years. I agree. But he's also the worst in another 25 years. He's going to go down in history as the guy that took us down, and then we're going to try to climb out of the hole he dug. Oh, the Oregon petition. I thought you about the petition to get marijuana on the ballot. I'm sorry. Many scientists have rejected the idea of global warming and urging the U.S. to reject the Kyoto. I support the Oregon petition. Without even reading it, I support it. I don't support the Kyoto Protocol at all. I was against the Copenhagen Treaty being signed by Barack Obama. No, I don't think they're ever going to admit he was born in Kenya. I mean, come on. Good question, though, guest 681.
Carter's not even happy with Obama.
Carter wasn't happy with Obama in 2010 and 2012 as well. Carter wrote negative things about Obama because of the human rights abuses going on all around the world. And Obama continued torture and rendition around the world. Many people don't realize he's done more in torture and rendition than George W. Bush. Obama cannot stop Ebola from infecting you. No matter what you do, it's always up to you to live in misery. This is your destiny. Okay, yeah, hackers are hitting Microsoft Video Game Service and Sony. I wish the CIA would stop doing this, really. Creating false flags doesn't turn the American people, in any way against countries like North Korea. We already hate North Korea. What's the big deal? It was my Count Chocula impersonation. Yes. If you open a second tab and Totally 70s, it just sound makes quite a good mix with the show. Not allowed to do it, dude. Yeah, every single our show is now uploaded to a Google Hangout. Thank you, Giraffe Brain. Every
Equal
single
eye.
show will not allow any of that. It's complete copyright violation. Well, you need to masturbate a few more times, apparently. Something's wrong with you, man. You're running shy of your normal 10 times a day routine. Well, Carter doesn't even understand anything anymore. It's like, anyone questioning of Barack Obama is clearly a racist. Rosalind and I have been working on a new peanut recipe for our brain. No, history's going to look.
That would be pretty amazing.
History will look more favorably on the Bush presidency. I hate to say it, and he was one of the worst presidents of our nation's history. But now, thanks to Barack Obama, Bush is elevated to a higher level.
My comment was directed at Doctor Who.
Well, let's be clear. I think Barack Obama is an excellent teleprompter reader. And that's about it. I did not alienate all of Asian land. No, I have a lot of respect for Asian people. I do. There's a lot of people with brilliant minds coming out of China, and many of the things that they've accomplished over the past 25 years, we cannot just sit back and go, oh, they make cheap crap. Yeah, they put them on CAD cams, they do plastic extrusions, they do a lot of work in those nations that have actually been amazing. But they're very good at duplicating things. So if we come up with a new idea, chances are China's going to copy it, which I'd expect them to do. No, gas is manipulated, we all know that. Unemployment rate is not down. Anyone happy? He didn't get Osama bin Laden. There's no proof that he actually killed Osama bin Laden. And he didn't end the Iraq War. It's now up and running with 1,500 troops sent back in because he was an idiot for withdrawing. So the gas prices are manipulated. Thank you, Randall. We know that the gas prices have always lingered way above the production value of a barrel of oil. Now the production value of a barrel of oil, around $50 a barrel, is finally realized. So they just stopped getting greedy because they realized the only way to stop Vladimir Putin from gaining economic ground is to make oil a lot cheaper. That was their main goal. And I think triggering the retail economy, which is literally sinking. We've got a stagnation problem in our economy that's unbelievable right now. I'm amazed that companies like JCPenney even could open their doors for Christmas. Oh, thank you. Hang on, we got to get rid of anyone happy. He's a scumbag. Obvious Obama-tard that needs to leave our show. Wow. Boy, these Obama-tards, they come in here like brainless idiots, drooling, going, I love Obama. Oh, he said a conspiracy theory. Oh, he's a whack job. Calling people names without ever refuting a point. This is the Democratic way. Democrats, all they do is call people a name like, oh, you're a truther, when you question the massive evidence of a demolition during the World Trade Center attack. 300 stores? It was going to be 103 Sears stores, but apparently their closeout sale isn't going well, so it's going to be 300 stores closing in January. Wow. The Civil War, you mean the War of Northern Aggression? Vorpal, the only way we could do that is to give you shock therapy. And people like you, shock therapy. We're never going to end the anger that you have over the Civil War. And I don't want to give you shock therapy. So just relax. We'll work it out. We got to make sure the South is as happy as the North, and then everything will be better. I will talk policies. I only bash because the Democrats have been bashing for the past 6 years, you idiot. Every time we talk about questioning this president, we're all bashed. Okay? So let's talk about my policies, okay? Let's get our site going, because these people need a little tutorial, okay? All right, we're going to go to our website, americasthirdparty.com, and kind of go through some of our hit points. It's the best way to do this. A lot of you can go there and check it out. But we support personal freedom. We support legalizing marijuana. Let's just let this thing roll for you. We're Americans. We don't want the divide between the Democrats and Republicans. We want to unite. Yes, there are FLV splice videos programs, but they don't work very well. I've tried. Our guns are useless against the super weapons of the global elitists. Americans have an estimated 300 million privately owned guns. Wrong. There's 300 million privately owned guns in Texas. They don't even get their numbers right. There's over 460 million registered weapons in America. So they didn't even get that right. All right, let's move on. So we do believe as Americans that personal freedom, free speech, gun rights, and privacy are essential in preserving our Constitution. We support legalization, and we want to integrate brand new technologies like hempoline into our diesel truck drivers' choice of making solutions. When you go to our site, you can actually click on the buttons down below, like these right here. But you can also become involved. You download a petition there in Iowa. You can click on the state to find out the election law. So we've got a tool to find election law for people. And here I answer the questions on issues like abortion. I strongly support abortion as a woman's right. However, I support new legislation that would limit abortions to first trimester only, thus reducing the suffering endured by the child. Okay? So I'm pro-choice, but I'm really concerned about the right of a woman to kill her baby in the second and third trimester. So I go on to talk about a lot of questions. This was fielded by Americans Elect, and I just put my answers out there.
It's something else like on the issues.
On the issues, okay.
The company.
We have a comprehensive energy plan here, creating a backbone of energy in our country, including renewable energy. We support an ocean pipeline, which will give fresh water to states like California that are suffering from droughts. Okay, let's see what that is. Patriots don't be slaves. Britannia rules the waves. Interesting. Okay. Before it's news is saying the end of the dollar will occur in a few months. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are
I don't like that site.
I'm really not, it's before it's news because it's not news. What do you think? Okay, guess 398. I don't really know. What do you think about the Freemasons? There are some good people out there, but I don't support secret societies. All right, and then we have mobile medical units we want to develop for our country and integrate them through the VA system and help become a bypass to the existing healthcare crisis by providing low-cost solutions for people at all levels.
Well, we could say that Clinton opened up trade.
We have a national opt-in insurance plan
around the globe.
These are all our big plans.
They say, Dave, do you think that a lot of the mortgage crisis and other economic and trade problems started on Bill Clinton's watch?
Yes, I did. I believe that Bill Clinton gave up a huge amount to big, huge corporations. Bill Clinton was the corporate president. And he also bent over backwards to help China gain First Nation trading status, and it put them with an advantage over our country. So here is our menu items of all our things. We got energy, platform, energy. I mean, you can't really see it on the screen. Let me blow it up. We've got a whole lot of things in our platform at the main top of the page. This is just a handy drop-down menu that we have. For some reason, it's not picking up.
It doesn't show on that screen.
Yeah,
That's
it's a different
strange.
kind of screen.
Oh, because it only picks up that window.
Yeah, we can do a thing right there and just show you the drop-down menu. But right there is our drop-down menu. We've got a lot of things we address. Energy options, global climate change. We talk about getting rid of, we don't support carbon taxes.
Why would
we want to
change
solve the
title?
problem. Regionalization, local food. We have a local food plan for getting our regional economies going. We have a national defense approach. Border protection. We have a 1,000-mile fence along the border we're suggesting. A lethal electric fence, along with the naturalization, fast-track naturalization for people who are immigrants, can go to their home country and become a U.S. citizen. We've got a way to end the TSA and integrate military personnel into the local airports and save you guys money on your airport fees. Hi, Shrek. Bomb shelters, we support a civil defense system. We support a certain level of cyber surveillance that would eliminate the threat of fraud and hackers breaking into our financial sector. But we don't want to cut down on your opportunity to download videos. I don't want to stop that. I support a first copyright strike law, which allows companies to make money on a first copyright, but after that, it's really a crapshoot as to whether they're going to make money or not. They can still make money on their copyrighted copies, but it won't necessarily be prosecuted if somebody were to download something. I don't want more litigation, I want less, so I'm in favor of tort reform. As a third party, we support the idea of term limits, and you're not going to get the two parties to do that. I do not support piracy. I said privacy. No. The concept of piracy right now exists because we've got really backward copyright laws that just haven't even been updated to meet the demands of the modern 21st century. So I do support the idea of everybody after the first copyright is paid for and everyone gets their money. You can still try to make money on that copyright, but in the end, people are going to be, downloading and file sharing. You can't control that, and you cannot possibly litigate that. We cannot tie up a justice system that's already overly costly and messed up with corruption. All right, thank you so much for coming in. We have to change the title, americasthirdparty.com. What? What are you talking about? Why would we do that? So Sony made the biggest FU in the history on copyrights because putting their movie online for $6, they knew that this would hit the torrents immediately. I don't think it's a problem that Sony put their thing out there. I even said to Sarah, I said, Sarah, why should Sony kowtow to threats from any group of people? I don't support maritime piracy. In fact, I've talked about having every maritime vessel mounted with 50 caliber machine guns on the bow of every vessel. I've even talked about electric netting around the exterior of the vessel, preventing people from getting on board like pirates. We've got a lot of things. I'd love to just sit down and talk to some people in the mainstream media on every single issue. I'd love to talk to all of you about every single issue every night.
As David does on this show.
Right. I think the interview was a marketing ploy as well, yeah. I agree. I don't really blame Sony for releasing it. I really don't. I mean, at this time in our history, why should we kowtow to hackers? It was featured on Google Play Store Christmas Eve. Interesting. Well, it doesn't surprise me. Well, let's be clear. What we're seeing today is not what it seems. If you were to listen to the mainstream movie or mainstream media right now, you would probably think that everything can be judged on the cover of its book or the cover of its story. You can't. You cannot judge a book by its cover, and you cannot judge any of these stories by what the media presents. We never changed our stance on maritime piracy. We've always been strong against piracy, and we want to make sure that maritime vessels have the ability to defend themselves. I don't think this president will ever do that.
We started our stance on maritime piracy with the Somali incident.
Our site is more Google friendly. Our title is americasthirdparty.com.
He's saying I have to log in.
You're saying this
background,
the meta tag doesn't have it?
He's saying
we did the meta tag on this. Wow. Well, we need to upgrade our meta tag.
Yeah, you do.
No, we do. Not you do. We do. I don't really want to go in here right now and do this.
Why not?
All right, let's do it. Well, Uncle Lester, we did a search engine optimization on this a long time ago. I haven't done it lately. Mind you, I created the concept early on. Sarah migrated to Drupal, and Drupal may have extracted our meta tags in the process. Well, I definitely think piracy is an act of war, and we should bomb the hell out of Somalia if they continue attacking vessels that are shipping in those shipping lanes. So those in the know could download it, record it while streaming. Sure. We could easily record our show. Anyone could record our show while streaming. That would be great. We are producing a podcast and a radio show coming up in 2015. You can record anything, Peter Goose. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing I can do to stop you or anyone. I don't want you to not record this. I want you to record it and play it elsewhere. I agree, Warple Bite. You got my back on that one. Thank you. I've even gone on record saying every single maritime vessel needs a 50 caliber machine gun at the very minimum. And I came up with another idea, electric fencing all the way around the exterior of the plane. Circumnavigating around the entire exterior would be this electrified fencing material. And we could have it solar back so that it's completely battery backup. There's no way they could shoot it down. No person hijacking a boat legitimately is going to be firing an RPG at a maritime vessel. It's usually to hijack the vessel and look for ransom. That's the usual plan. So I'm not saying electric fencing would stop an RPG, but you're like, any kind of a solution I come up with, you're going to say, oh, well, that won't stop a tactical nuke. Hi, Tricepra. Let's stop this right now. I will not tolerate you running around promoting a person who is obviously an ultra-liberal and has absolutely nothing to say positive about our show. Please don't promote that guy. He's come into our show, and you know what he said to me? He said, "Hey, David, yeah, you gotta stop talking bad about Barack Obama." Yeah. And I don't want to say anything negative about him because I'm sure there's a lot of negative stuff out there. But I said, really? You're telling me to stop speaking negatively about the guy who's standing in the way of our nation surviving? You're trying to stifle my free speech, honest Frank? It's crazy. I gotta get some coffee. I'm starting to melt down
that
here.
Sounds good.
God. Unreal.
They're just looking at. Yeah, I know I like Drupal, but sometimes I don't.
I really want to go to Rostrolabs again.
I guess so.
That's what I hate about people buying things. You ask for something and you just, never get
You
exactly
get
what you want.
what you have.
You never
so.
get what you want in this world.
You think freight ship builders should begin to install safe rooms into vehicles? They should also have the ability to use lethal and non-lethal weaponry like a 50 cal or an LRAD to protect from pirates, and also water cannons as well. I agree with that. Hi Hammer. Yes, and I do agree. Surrounding the ship with razor wire would be good. Yes, we all should be nice. I know, I don't know. Oh yeah, they use sonic cannons? Good. They create waves which sink the pirates? Wow. Interesting. I don't know why it comes up a busy signal. It's fine with me that it comes up a busy signal. I have my phone off, so it should not come up busy anyway. Okay. Check out your posts. I'm not going to check out your posts. No. I'm not into people that are self-promoting. I know I'm self-promoting, but it's just not. I don't have time for other people's things. Sorry. But best of luck to you. Okay, I found where to fit it. Okay, UK. website information is updated. Yeah, sometimes guests do make this show bad. Are you the same person? Did you just come on in as a different name, Honest Frank? I thought you already talked to Miss Scruffy. If she didn't unban you, maybe she has her reasons. Did that person leave out of my sight? Good. So, Uncle Lester, you do some SEO work too? Sometimes when you come into the room as a guest, you're banned even when you didn't sign in. Other times you're unbanned as a guest. Huh, that's strange. Okay. Thank you very much, 363. I got it for Christmas. Who's that 9736? I won't let you chat or anything as a guest sometimes. Oh, that's because sometimes I have guest chat turned off, Peter Goose. So when I have guest chat turned off, I don't know, when it doesn't let you chat, will it still let you watch the video? Because I'm not sure about that, but if that's the case, I might turn off guest chat. But anyway, that's why sometimes you can't chat as a guest, because it's sometimes I have guest chat turned off. Okay, anyway, I fixed that thing.
Happy New Year. Thank you for fixing it. We got a meta tag up and running for you. Thanks for the tip. I didn't realize that UK 101. Thanks for that. We had made a migration to Drupal, and I thought I updated all the meta tags on there, but I'm sure we could do better. Yeah, isn't that cool? My sister Connie got me this. It was kind of a pre-Christmas gift, and Sarah got me this jacket, which I absolutely love. It's just the rockin' jacket of tomorrow for me. And we went around town today, and I walked around to some of the important places, like the Walmart clearance section, and I think people in the Walmart clearance section were impressed. Kind of cool. So I noticed that some of the people looking for 99-cent values looked at me. I agree, UK01.
Yeah, let's just keep the guest chat off for now.
So if you can impress the people in the Walmart clearance section, you got yourself a good look. And I really thought that was important. It's got to happen, Utah Dave. I mean, many of the people who want to become guests should become real Bond supporters.
Yeah, Bond
people
users.
That use Bond users, yeah.
Yeah, we're all agreeing, exactly. Just...
Let's get the conversation to a higher level, because freedom right now in America is under attack. We've seen so many people, like the Bundy Ranch group, have their entire life upturned because he had a hectare of property that Harry Reid wanted to create a solar panel farm for the Chinese on. This whole thing is unbelievable. They're using the power of government to kind of violate our freedoms. When Kathleen Sebelius was the director of the Health and Human Services before Obamacare was ratified, she actually told all the insurance companies, you cannot write letters to your clients telling them about Obamacare. So every insurance company was locked. This woman violated the Constitution and told insurance companies they couldn't communicate with their own clients. That's total violation of freedom of speech, and it's a violation of our freedom to know what the hell Obamacare is about. It's a Bass jacket. We went to a Bass outlet store, which was right next to a Wilson's House of Leather, and we saw a jacket just like this for $800, right? And Sarah and I went back the next day, and the Wilson's House of Leather had raised their $800. It was a $200 jacket, an $800 jacket for $200. And then we went to Bass, and she saw the same kind of jacket, and it was really comfortable. It's for $45. I mean,
Same
sure.
style. Pretty close.
The
to
deal
same
was
style.
amazing. It's a $250 Bass jacket for $45 out the door. That included tax. I'm going, I have never had, and by the way, it is waterproof, which is amazing. Leather jackets, by and large, are not waterproof, but I keep the tags on it to remind me
He's
what a guy's jacket
He's
is.
starting a new trend.
Yeah. And I want to be able to tell people, hey, by the way,
warm?
this is a tune. Yeah, it is warm. It doesn't have that thermal insulate thing that Wilson's puts in, but it's good. It's warm.
I'm not sure where it was made. It's made by Bass, though.
It's not leather.
It's actually not leather.
It smells like leather. There's leather in it, but it's a pleather. And it's considered the highest end pleather out there.
Thank you, Batman.
I'm not going to autograph it, no. And I know you want the jacket for $50 more than you want the pleather. Yeah. It's pleather, not feather. Pleather is this product that, and the highest end pleather products have more leather in it, because this smells like leather.
I think it does have some leather.
I bet it is leather,
I mean,
and they
it
just don't even know
It
it.
feels like leather.
I know. Well, I'll tell you, if I have to, I'll Simonize it,
Up here, it doesn't feel like so much like leather, but back here, yeah.
Right around their nostril area. They put a strip of leather right in here, so you smell the leather. Check the tag. I don't really know if I can read tags. Are you allowed to read tags now?
It does smell like leather.
I know, it's weird. It says Lamb Touch Faux Leather Jacket. The Lamb Touch Faux Leather, F-A-U-X, faux leather jacket.
Well, maybe it's made out of lamb skin instead of...
I'm beginning to think there's lamb in this.
Instead of cow.
I know, I'm starting to go...
It's so soft.
Obama. Yeah, maybe it's an Obama reject. It's from the Obama collection. All right, thank you so much for coming in. It's a
Well, if
sheeple
it were
jacket.
lamb, though, it would be soft. It would be like wool. So it's not made out of wool.
It is 85% leather? Well, thank you, Shrek. You know your faux leather pretty well.
85% leather.
Well, no wonder it's so smelly of leather.
No, you are going to have to
I do
treat
wear a
it.
leather jacket. Yeah, I'm going to have to treat. Well, I've got some stuff here. Let me ask you. What do you think I should use?
Maybe we should go to Wilson's. They say Wilson's has a treatment.
Well, I don't. That's going to be ridiculous. Rain and Stain Guard, Payless Shoes puts out, or Scotch Guard.
Neither of those.
Okay. Get something better.
Get some leather treatment, like they use for leather.
So nice having a closet right next to my show.
Maybe get
Mink
the-
oil. There you go. I have some mink oil.
Oh, you have mink oil? That would
I've
be
got
good.
some from way back in the 1960s.
Metallic Mentalist says Wilson has a leather treatment. That
Well, of course they do. It's probably $80. I mean, give me a break. Knees foot oil. How about belly button lint oil?
There you go, Meow TV 2. It's true. If they kept it in like farmed, raised dinosaur flesh.
I was kind of reveling in the idea that it didn't have a lot of animal byproducts on it, because I wanted to, kind of walk up to some people at PETA and go, hey, by the way, this is
What is it
completely
called?
plastic.
Lambskin. What is it called?
No, I'm not rich. Do I look rich?
Lambskin leather.
I'm
What?
wealthy.
What's it called?
Well, it's called lambskin faux. You want to research it?
Faux leather.
F-A-U-X, faux leather jacket. Lamb Touch, it's called. Lamb Touch. You work for tips? What kind of tips? Big ones or small ones? Round ones or square ones? Dave Behest, you're a millionaire? I've inherited a strange quality my father had, and I have had it. Everywhere my dad used to go, everyone said, come on, you're really a millionaire. I should get Wilson's House of Leather product. Check it out. This is what I need, honey. Thank you for that tip. How much is it? Don't you love it when you can't find a price? Oh, $9. I'm getting it. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Metallic Metalist. That's a great tip. Thank you so much. Bless you. You have no stress too? Good. You're stress-free, so am I. Well, I guess I'm a rich guy if you think so, Storm Davis. But well, like I said, we got this for $45 after taxes, and we got steep taxes in Washington. We got 10% taxes. It's going to last a lifetime. Well, I will wear this a lifetime. I'm already enjoying the smell of my sweaty armpits. After 6 or 7 years of use, you couldn't even possibly put this on without washing the armpits. You want one? We got it at Bass, at the Bass outlet. I know you're getting bored, Drag King. Let's move on. So as they take our freedoms away from us, or attempt to, we as Americans have a duty. No, Rubber Ducky, that particular Cloudpore is $13 right now on eBay. Look for the lowest price shipping and priced item. Look up Cloudpore and look for lowest cost. It's not $50, it's $13. It's mixed with that nice pleather smell, the smell of plastic burning. Don't you love that? You shop at Goodwill? I shop at Badwill. They've got a better selection, I've noticed. So you're saying the M3 Cloudpore is up when it went $13 to $50 in 1 week? I just got it. Yeah, it was the M3 Cloudpore, yeah. You're saying the lowest price now is $50? Because I got it for $12.99. Well, hello, Mr. Sponheim. Hello, Ed. How are you there, Mr. Sponheim? Poor Ed. He's braving the cold weather. He'd love to have a jacket like this. Ed made it through the winter, folks. He's on his way. Well, check out eBay. The one with the site itself is going to sell it for $49, but eBay's got really good deals. Sea Dog liked that when I did. Hello, Mr. Sponheim. How are you? How are you, Mr. Sponheim, Mr. Discount Man? That's how Ed talks,
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, you can't buy it from the site. They're going to price the retail price up as high as possible. It's going to be cheaper on eBay. You got a belly laugh going now? Sea Dog is really laughing at that. Oh, hello, Mr. Sea Dog. Mr. Ed is not the horse. That's from the horse, of course, Mr. Ed show. Mr. Ed is the guy who's a homeless guy running for president, who comes in our show frequently to share his little tidbits about how he's being roughed up and kept from getting a place to sleep with his service dog. And it's always interesting. Ed's like a litmus test of how abusive our government has become to the average American citizen. So we encourage Ed to talk about his problems because, frankly, our country's been caring more about illegal aliens than they are their own citizens like Ed. Then you get people like Uncle Lester giving him a piece of his mind, claiming if he cut back on his expenses, like the $40 of chewing tobacco he rolls into cigarettes. The Hegelian dialectic can be solved. We can, by creating a third party. The Hegelian dialectic is a plan that was perpetrated over 150 years ago by Hegel. And of course, Marx and Joseph Engels advanced this concept, which pretty much promoted the split of our nation into various factions of two. You got the left versus the right. You got men versus women. You've got blacks versus, or whites versus all the other races, minorities. You've got old people versus young people. And this split, it drives people apart. And united we stand, divided we fall. We're falling because we've been divided. So our nation's been kept in kind of a limp mode with the Hegelian dialectic. We're limping along. It's not what we need. We need united consensus on things. Leroy, thank you. There are a few people that are dedicated like me. I appreciate you recognizing that. And our campaign for freedom really kind of is trying to grab a lot of the people on the left, on the right. Believe it or not, because we know that a lot of people on the right look at us and go, wow, you're kind of liberal. But we're really not. We support gun rights, just like people on the right. We support a strong border, more so than the Republicans. Republicans would never stand here and say they want a 1,000-mile fence, lethal electric fence along the border. But you hear us talking about that every night. And we're very much more into getting less support for the immigration flow, Whereas the Republicans want immigrants to come into our country so they can exploit labor. Hi, Gary in Vegas. Democrats want immigrants to come in because they want more votes and they somehow think they're going to pay more taxes, and that's absurd. Anybody who comes in here illegally is not going to be a good, strong, tax-paying American. Come on. These are the cheaters that are coming into our country. The criminals coming into our country. They're not going to be good, God-fearing Americans. You understand what I'm saying? Hi, Joy Division. I got news for you, man. You've just been banned. Yeah. Don't ever question my masculinity or my prowess. I could literally go all day, day and night. I'm the kind of guy that has stamina that would just blow some women away. But I'm not that kind of a guy. Well, thank you, Five Color Patch. Japan's economy begins to implode. See the market, Monarch. Thank you. Shinzo Abe might as well be a clown. He's a clown act right now. You know, when asked about Japan's economy, his response was, let's just buy up $700 billion more in government bonds. Arigato. Keep doing the same thing America's doing. The only difference between America's soft tyranny and Japan's soft tyranny is the people of Japan really do have a fiscal crisis that's looming out of control. They're a tight, homogeneous group, homogeneous population of people that are feeling the immediate response of extended credit for years. And a president like Shinzo Abe, who literally wants to start up the nuclear reactors now, after one is still leaching Fukushima radiation into the ocean. He still wants to start up the other 50, even though they shut him down. And Japan's economy, in part, is imploding because of the cost of oil. They've been generating electricity using oil. The super low gas prices, Utah Dave, are a result of an attempt by our government and the European nations to work with their strong allies in the Gulf nations, Saudi Arabia, etc., to collude to bring the price of gas down to its actual production value. So when they get $55 a barrel, they really are getting that amount of money to pay for the operation itself. So they're kind of cutting back on their profit, but what they're trying to do, and Europe is very concerned about Russia rising in power, they're trying to undermine, it's a type of economic sanction against Russia. It's trying to tank the ruble. It's trying to send the ruble down into the negative zone and forcing Vladimir Putin recently to buy up a lot of gold to hedge against the losses. One of the reasons why the gold prices have been kind of unstable and continually dropping, because there's a tremendous demand from Russia to buy gold. Now, if the gold supply dwindles, then the price of gold will go up again. But they've got paper gold and paper silver markets in America at the New York Mercantile Exchange, the COMEX exchange, that purposely print up paper gold and paper money, paper silver, that offsets any real pursuit of the actual tangible gold and silver. So the gold and silver markets have a kind of a false bottom. But if that breaks through and the paper silver market doesn't seem to be able to push it into that area, when people all insist on buying real metal, that's when your gold and silver investment will go up. Okay? No, Ed, it's your computer. Right. They're all about the interest rate rigging methods that the Libor scandal was involved in. I would like to see us migrate to a gold standard and actually a cross-spectrum standard that I'm looking at. A gold, silver, precious metal, platinum, liquid hydrogen could be in the mix, because someday liquid hydrogen will be very valuable, and we can produce that with solar energy and seawater. So the possibility is real. Yeah, I don't think silicone implants are relevant to the discussion, Pop-Tart, but thanks for interjecting your opinion. Well, I think there's a lot of false problems in our economy that are completely fake by the printed money. And now, with the price of gas going down and the Democrats thinking they're in a blissful moment while they head toward the 2016 election, not at all. You're going to see municipal bond issues go belly up, because they can't keep funding these things and keep pumping money into them without people getting a little nervous and skittish. You're going to see a possible tank in the money market accounts of $24 trillion. You're going to see 401ks take another dive. While all the while we see big, huge Wall Street executives make massive amounts of trades, making many, many more dollars. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Didn't see my tie. It was popped out. Not looking older at all. I'm looking... No, you're mistaken. It's the coloring. It's a light. Let me correct the lens. Hang on. We went with a lower light configuration. Let me get the light up for you. You don't see the true clarity of my face. Thank you. There we go. Advanced, see?
There we go. That's
see?
Nice.
Isn't that brighter?
Mm-hmm.
See how much younger I look there?
Hi, David Nation. I am more yellow.
I hate to say it, but you look a little darker, David Nation. It occurred to me that you are a little bit darker tonight. Have you noticed that? Well, I think the $800 jacket makes me look a little bit more conservative, frankly.
I didn't know this place has an auction site. ShopGoodwill.com.
Oh,
is a
Shop
total
Goodwill.
Auction
It's
site
an auction site?
For Goodwill.
I'm going to check that out. Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Who is it? Scissor Fight said he got a computer on there for $25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where? Scissor Fight? Or at Goodwill?
Goodwill.
Okay.
Scissor Fight on our show.
Oh, I thought
Goodwill.
scissorfight.com was the site I needed to check out. Cryonics. Yeah, I've talked about cryonics. You know who's into cryonics? Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, I need to close out of that now. I need to log out.
Oh, sorry.
I don't know why.
I'll tell you. Just the other day, my wife, she took my head, you know? I mean, I've always asked her for, a little head. But she stuck it in a frozen chamber. He's dead, I know. Rodney Dangerfield wanted to put his entire body in cryogenics, and he was actually, when he died, his wife was shocked to find out that the body was going to cost $1 million, and he only allocated $200,000, so they had to just put his head in frozen storage. Once they figure out what's wrong with his body, I mean, they can attach his head to it. I think Rodney Dangerfield's body was just atrocious. So if we could bring back Rodney, it'll be great to see him, with his head patched onto some other body, don't you think? It'll really be like Caddyshack, but it'll be way better. Rodney Dangerfield returns to Caddyshack 12. I'll tell you, this bionic cybernetic body is incredible. I'll tell you, just the other day, my body was like doing weird stuff.
They say that's a stone tool.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That's called a broken rock. I know. Well, the Russians still have Lenin's head and body in formaldehyde. Yeah, his neck and head included was $200,000, not the neck alone. John Candy, I don't know. He didn't freeze anything. Except his assets. I think he was broke when he went under. I know. Well, anybody could buy a cheap refrigerator or freezer over at Home Depot and have their wife keep it plugged in for 1.2 million years. As long as it's plugged in the wall, it should be fine.
1.2 million year old tool. Interesting.
Ed's been trying to contact you, Shrek. Have you been receiving any IM messages? Do you have your IMs open? Ed still wants in on that car, even though it may be gone.
I don't even know if I trust the person who mentioned the car.
I don't believe the car deal was real. Ed, the van deal was 2 weeks ago when I had vacation time. I'm not going to take extra vacation time to help you with the help of this. Thank you, Shrek.
Thank you.
That answers your question. Mr. Sponheim, I was 2 weeks too late.
I want help whenever I want it.
Yeah, I want everything, Mr. Sponheim. I don't want to do it on your time. So you want a free car, Ed, and you want to do it on your time? Nice. When you see opportunity, you got to jump, Ed. The early bird gets the worm, and when that McDonald's opens the door at 5 a.m., you need to be in there on the Wi-Fi connection, going on and trying to get some sort of a Bitcoin site going. Have you guys seen Oscar's Outpost? I saw this last week.
I tell you, I get no respect. I tell you, that's no, I can't. Obviously, I don't do voices like
That's
David.
okay.
David, there it is. OscarsOutpost.com.
Yeah, I just put it in there, and it's a Komodo. It's not Oscar's Outpost. What did it? I must have done something. Yeah. It wasn't that. Well, it was some guy who was a homeless guy who put together a Bitcoin purse. You should do that, Ed. I'll be right back.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. It was like feeding. It was Bitcoin. I'm going to try this.
God.
Yeah, why not apply for a job at the McDonald's too? You could be the bathroom attendant and clean the bathroom.
You know, I don't believe the end of times are as near as you might think. Yeah, I just had a big sneeze.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Sean's Outpost.
Sean's Outpost, thank you. Sean's Outpost. I thought it was Oscar's Outpost. Check out this, Ed. Send Ed the link to this. Ed, check this out. Thank you, DT Laura. Ed, check that out and tell me that isn't the way to do this. All right. All right, that's pretty cool. Sean's Outpost, this guy knows what he's doing because he's got a Bitcoin purse. He paints himself out, and all you need to do is put your homeless wagon and your service dog picture on a website. You get a WordPress website, and then you go ahead and get a Bitcoin purse, and I'll bet somebody will make a Bitcoin donation to you, Ed. Seriously. I'm just trying to help you out, man. Just me helping you out, Sarah and I working together to help you out. And Shrek tried to help you out 2 weeks ago, so don't run him over the coals, man. You just weren't ready. I need Ray-Bans? Okay. I got some Polaroid Ray-Bans here.
Yeah, you did look better with those.
Thank you.
And that jacket, that looks hot.
All right.
That looks
I want to look hot. This is about the only excitement I get tonight. This is how pathetic can that be? I mean, this is as much excitement as I'll get on a Friday night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Right in front of a computer with my Men in Black glasses on. Mr. Anderson.
I can help with that later.
I kissed Sarah on the cheek today during
I
our
know,
gaming
he
show.
did. That was so exciting.
I did. I broke down and I turned my head and I went.
Oh my God, twice in one night.
Twice.
I'm the luckiest lady ever.
I'm feeling so good, even though I'm depressed. Oh, this is great. Mr. Anderson. It's the stench, Mr. Anderson. The stench of humanity. Zion is not something that you'll ever attain, Mr. Anderson, because you are nothing. See what a kiss will get you? It gets you a bigger back rub. All right, so we've seen our privacy, our freedoms attacked by these extreme liberal Democrats, and I'm a centrist. I don't side anywhere near the Democratic Party.
Hi, on the air. Oh, one. No, David's not an actor.
You've probably seen me on television though, for the past 1,860 shows on a nightly basis on Blog
shows.
TV and here on Vaughn. I'm a Vaughn star. People are like, hey, haven't we seen this guy on No, he's on Mark Vaughn's network. Oh. Well, maybe I am the next rock star president. Who knows? Dave, Iran has one and they stole your signs. What does that tell you? I know. Utah, I'm telling you, they cheat to win elections. Shrek, just ignore Ed. Ed's got problems.
Obviously. Ed, if you keep attacking Shrek, you're going to be out.
Ed, Shrek's a supporter. You're obviously not. You support your own election. So I will ban you, Ed, if you don't shut up. Sputnik News. Here we go. We just gave you a couple tips, Ed, and you could care less about Sean's Outpost. So I'm going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
He doesn't even care. He doesn't even want anyone to help him. And Shrek legitimately was going to drive him to California.
I know.
No kidding.
Well,
and
I'm
somebody was
glad
going to
that
give him a
didn't
car.
work out because I don't know if I believe the person about the car. I mean, I believe Shrek, but I don't know if I believe anybody else.
No, I'm a down-to-earth kind of guy. I'm not a messiah type person. I'm definitely a martyr. I could be a martyr. You know, if I get taken out in my first term or second term, I could become a martyr, but I'm not a messiah.
We don't have a lax stance on maritime policy. What are you saying, Uncle Lester? What are you talking about? What do I need to change?
Well, he's still obsessed with all the piracy on the open ocean.
Of course, I am too.
Well, he wants to become a seaman and join some of the merchant marines so he could hang out in their boats. All right.
What, Drag King? What are
Well,
you talking about?
if you want me to be your messiah, I can be. Have you heard about this guy? I don't even want to talk about him, but
I'm just not going to follow that.
there was a guy out there called the Jesus Dude. And for a couple of years there in 2008, people were going, did you see the Jesus Dude?
Yeah, you will.
You've been banned, Ed. He's done. That's what you get for living on the street and going on a Wi-Fi outlet and taking all your anger and aggression out at humanity in our show. Thanks, Sarah. Why don't you take a break? You're okay.
I was going to take a break about an hour ago.
Yeah, take a break now.
Okay.
But then she'll be coming back. She wants to say goodnight. Let me tip off my coffee. You get a few more minutes with Sarah. I'm going to tip off my coffee and we'll get into the after show.
I'll do like 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes, actually.
Thank you.
11 minutes, and then David will do his after show.
My aftershave.
I know, we all try to be understanding. There's a dude in this site who claims to be God. You don't remember his channel's name?
Isn't that cool?
That's strange.
Sarah spotted this today. 75 cents for this tablecloth.
Yeah,
Such
it's
a good deal.
tablecloth. It's like a black tablecloth.
We'll use
That's
it at a
strange.
hotel. We'll take it with us on trip.
Well, have you just like, I don't know who's claiming to be God on the air 01. I wouldn't believe them, though. Obviously. Yes, let's begin again. Has the Christmas coffee mug been packed away until next year? No, it's like the biggest coffee mug we have, so David always uses it like year round. It's his little bit of Christmas all year round so that he can drink a lot of coffee at once. I should get him a bigger coffee mug that's like future president's coffee mug. Don't go, Sarah, we love you. I might take a half-hour break and then I'll come back. Yeah, I should get him the big mug for the big guy. Half of all children will be autistic by 2025, warns senior research scientists at MIT. I wonder what do those MIT people think? Yeah, you'll make me one. It explains in the article why evidence points to glyphosate toxicity from the overuse of Monsanto's Roundup herbicide on our food. For over 3 decades, Stephanie Seneff, PhD, has researched biology and technology, over the years publishing over 170 scholarly peer-reviewed articles. Lately, she's concentrated on the relationship between nutrition and health. She's tackled topics like Alzheimer's, autism, and cardiovascular disease. At a conference last Thursday in a special panel discussion about GMOs, she took the audience by surprise when she declared, at today's rate, by 2025, 1 in 2 children will be autistic. She noted the side effects of autism closely mimic those of glyphosate toxicity, and presented data showing a remarkably consistent correlation between the use of Roundup on crops and the creation of Roundup-ready GMO crop seeds with rising rates of autism. Wow. Children with autism have biomarkers indicative of excessive glyphosate, including zinc and iron deficiency, low serum sulfate, seizures, and mitochondrial disorder. Whoa, that is so interesting. I think they're representative of soldiers. You see, autism and ADHD are made up. Their conditions did not exist 500 years ago, which Storm Davis, this person, would agree with you that perhaps it did not exist 500 years ago, but she would say it's not made up, that it's on the rise because of Monsanto. This Monsanto GMO crop seeds were not in existence 500 years ago either. Thank you, Hammer 737. I don't necessarily think it's overdiagnosed. Perhaps it's becoming more prevalent because the use of these Monsanto seeds are becoming more prevalent. It's from modern toxicity. Not, well, ADHD is, there's an interesting thing about ADHD, I would say. I would say ADHD comes from all this overstimulation. And there was a really very interesting, I think it might have been Sir Ken Robinson. I might be wrong, but there was this really interesting graphic, and it said like basically the further from the west coast to the east coast, the more you go toward the east coast, the higher the rate of ADHD diagnosis goes.
That's a higher dense population over there.
Exactly. So for me, it is higher, more highly dense population. White.org issue. I'm not saying I believe what I hear about autism being caused by vaccines, but this anh.usa.org, this is rather interesting. I would say read this site. And let me look at this White House one. That seems very interesting. Maybe. TV linked to attention deficit. Babies and toddlers parked in front of the TV have a much higher risk of developing ADHD by age 7. A new study shows. It's a study from the American Academy of Pediatrics. It's watching videos. And that's the thing. It's like we live in a society that's so connected all the time.
Well, that means we need to open more communication channels with other nations.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to realize that some people don't want help. They claim they want help. They like to complain, but they don't really want help.
Okay, so half of all children will be autistic, according to this scientist. He believes that this is does he attribute it to the environment?
So this one, there's two different stories going on here. One is a story about ADHD. And it's basically linking ADHD to television watching. And then there's another one that is linking, it's about autism. And this is, I don't know what.
TV watching can be linked to
this is
autistic
Alliance.
behavior. Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, you're talking about a lot of electrical stimuli.
This is Alliance for Natural Health, and this one is really interesting. It's
I like this.
It's an MIT research scientist, and she says that she thinks 1/2 of the children, 1 out of every 2 children will be autistic, and she says that she believes it's linked to Roundup Ready GMO crop seeds.
Very likely, and let's not forget the fact that fluoride is in the water system across the nation, which can attribute to a lot of neurological problems. And that was a study that was done at the Harvard Medical Review in 2012 on fluoride. So the numbers of factors, environmental factors, are playing in. Yeah, just ignore him, Shrek. We're going to probably eliminate Ed for a while. He's in a cool down period. His dog is probably barking right now. Woof, woof, woof. Saying, Ed, you're having a psychotic meltdown. Woof, woof. You know.
Well, he can be all hateful as he wants.
What kind of parent gives their 8-year-old child powerful amphetamines like Adderall? Well, there's a lot of speed freaks in our area, believe it or not, in Washington, that actually have their kids awarded to them in their house. And when the kids are walking around the speed, believe it or not, it's going right into their skin. Mommy, what's on the ashtray? And they're touching the crystal meth, and it's going right into their skin. in our liberal state, a commie Soviet state of Washington, you've got people who are absolutely so concerned about the poor speed freaks that they give their kids. They put them in a very, very rough predicament. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Ed is upset at himself for not actually taking advantage of the opportunities afforded to him by others.
You were willing to drive him to get a free car. I mean, you don't. It doesn't get any better than you, Shrek. You're one of the nicest guys we met on the internet. Seriously, I mean that. Okay. I give out compliments before the next year. But seriously, it's really a problem when people have lived the life, the downward cycle. I used to hang around homeless people a lot in California when I worked in Santa Monica. And Santa Monica, California is a haven for homelessness because the temperatures are so wonderful. And the Venice Beach is a place where people hang out. They live underneath, lifeguard stations, all that. And most of these people want to be homeless, primarily because they don't want anyone telling them what to do.
Yes.
That's primarily the reason.
Exactly, which is fine. They can live that life. They don't want anyone telling them what to do, but they're jealous of others that jump through the hoops and get certain things given to them.
Yeah, exactly.
And he should be proud of himself. Ed should be proud of himself for jumping through certain hoops and getting a certain amount of government money.
Ed will come back in when we unban all again, which we usually do once a week or so.
When we start the new year.
Yeah, we'll probably unban
Year's
all.
Eve.
Ed will be coming back in again. YouTube, Trollzar, TV mind control, memes, and LLP. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. That sounds like a good story. I'll look into it.
All right.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you, Mad Dog. Thank you, Sarah, for coming in. Good night. You could use the rest. Yeah, she needs to enjoy her vacation.
And I'm kind of believe the show should only be 2 hours.
Sarah doesn't like the extra hour, so I do the extra hour regardless. And I've always felt that you guys wanted a 3-hour show, and that's why I fought for the 3rd hour.
A 3-hour show.
A 3-hour show.
Relaxing.
Professor and Mary Ann here on Gilligan's Isle. Yeah, lots of people use Freon. It isn't the only one, right? It's not. Metallic Mentalist. I used to do 10-hour shows when I first started. All-night shows don't work for me because I really don't want to burn out. Utah says we always give you always get your money's worth with Dave. It's true. You're paying nothing.
I know. Right?
It's great. Yeah, you're getting your money's worth. You get nothing in return.
I mean, I guess I could see a 3-hour show if you were actually charging your viewers.
Yeah. The Blackface uploaded last night at midnight. I finally got it to upload. Pretty cool. It's out there right now if you want to look at it. Blackface 2.0. 2 is out. It's a 1-hour edited version of my October 31st show, which I pulled the best of, and I put a few backgrounds together and did some editing. It was a great show, October 31st. Feces, you just missed Sarah. Oh, she just left. Sorry, Faces. Faces, I keep calling you Feces. Wow, gosh, what is wrong with me? Faces, not feces. Some people who are in the business only use the internet from work in places like McD's, nothing new. That's true. David, do you think the dollar will collapse? I do. It's already collapsed. I mean, what do you call this? What do you call that? I mean, will the dollar collapse? Gee, I don't know. What do you think? It started its tumble in 1900 when it was worth $1. And now it's down to, nothing. David, I looked for your book on Amazon, couldn't find it. No, Utah, you can go to americasthirdparty.com/store and you can buy the book from Amazon right there. The link is direct. I'm sure with all the millions of books Amazon has, they don't want to sell my book. They're not promoting it. It doesn't really matter. I mean, I'm already in a meltdown situation. I've already accepted the apocalypse, and I'm now preparing for a life beyond the apocalypse. I heard a great line last night. This show that I saw called Red Dawn. It was about North Koreans taking over our nation, literally creating an EMP attack, an electromagnetic pulse attack, and then literally dropping on states like Washington and Oregon, mass drops right into our country. People had to just deal with it. Anyway, these Marine guys who were fighting it, they were from Camp Pendleton. One of the lines they said, "Marines don't die. They just go to hell and then regroup." Marines don't die, they just go to hell and then regroup. That was pretty good. My dad was a Marine. My mom was a Marine. And they really did live in a time that was golden. And I can look back and say, wow, they were, in a way, it was a blessing that they passed away before 9/11. When they saw the good parts of America, not the slide and how we completely blew it. And there's evidence in my mind that 9/11 may have been perpetrated by some element that wasn't a terrorist organization. Many people thought when 9/11 happened, it was probably the Mossad that did this. The only group that could have possibly pulled this off. The same group that mastered the victory at Entebbe. These are the kind of people that pull off events like that. My parents died at the average age of Americans dying. My mom was 75 and 77. My father was 77, respectively. They lived a very tough life. Like many Americans, they worked their entire life just to have something to leave their family. And they really did live the American dream. My mom and dad, I like to talk about that sometimes, but my mom and dad really lived the ultimate dream. Met at Camp Lejeune right out of the war, went on to move to Manhattan and live in Manhattan for 6 weeks with their mustering out pay, and they lived high on the hog. They used to tell me about that first 6-week romance when they, got married. And they were a quintessential couple of amazing. My parents were really very strong patriots. And what happened after that is the very making of a book. And I've got a whole history in my family that just parallels the entire development of our country and all the people in it. I mean, you could say I'm related to an immigrant family. My father's family was a Norwegian. He was a second-generation American, but they had come over from Norway in the 1850s, up through Galveston, and then settled in North Dakota. My great-great-grandfather actually owned a hectare, or more than a hectare. He owned a few hectares in North Dakota at one point. But that whole history of my family lines kind of parallels what happened to America and how we have evolved to this place where we are today. Hey, yeah, I love the jacket. Thank you. I've always wanted one of these jackets and got one finally. But now I can get one for $8 on Goodwill.
No, not in White Maryland. It's nice.
Well, here it is right here. $12.
Great. Now you're gonna buy that one and take this one back.
Yeah, it's $8. I'm just kidding. They don't have the same cut. Yeah, this is a really nice cut. You can't get that. Here's one for $12. It was like the one you originally gave me. Sarah gave me a motorcycle jacket once.
Yeah, I saw a few of those.
This is identical to that right there. Diamond leather jacket for $12. It's got 3 bids on it. But no, this is a much more, obviously, lambskin. It's super smooth. I mean, it's like, Dave, we've been living under oppression. No kidding, Golden Orbs. We've got a police state forming right now. They want to up their force strength, and Barack Obama is complicit in that. He's the guy who sent all these weapons into local city governments recently. All these tanks and armored vehicles and helicopters are being given to local city governments. He's creating a veritable totalitarian police state, all the while telling his crony idiots in the Democratic Party, well, make no mistake about it. We don't want a police state to form in America. All the while funding the growth and creation of a Nazi police state. Well, there's a problem with a police state. Wherever you go, you're going to be looked at as a criminal, even though you're an innocent person. How many of you drive around the neighborhood now making sure there's no cops in the area and that you're going the speed limit? I'm sure a lot of you do. Well, that's a classic example of a police state forming. No question about it. And there's evidence that this recent attempt by the Obamas or whoever's funding the attack on Syria, that there's an evidence that they want to literally start a war and ramp us up into an even bigger police state. Because when we're starting a war, a ground war with Syria, that's a justification for more cops and more police and more military. You see, the powers that be want a total control over our lives. They don't want kind of a little bit of control. They want total control. So the whole concept of democracy, or even our republic and the laws that we represent, our Constitution represents, those are out the door. These people could care less about our nation and its people. These are sovereign individuals that live outside of our nation with so much money they could buy anybody, any government official in our nation. These aren't desperate times, and this is where you're going down the wrong road. You see, our country is not in desperate times. We haven't been for a long time. Terrorism has existed for thousands of years, but you turn on the TV and you think it's like the worst thing ever, and it's getting worse every day. Okay, no problem. Yeah, the best thing I said you can do, Shrek, is completely ignore this guy. I won't allow him on the show. Thank you. He's done. He's having a psychotic meltdown, Shrek. That's what's going on. I've heard about the U.S. drone attacks in Pakistan. I know. Well, we've been violating Pakistan's airspace without the approval of Prime Minister Gilani. Yeah, the U.S. was 1,000 times worse in the 70s. Yeah. The U.S. heroin supply has gotten so cheap that kids are now overdosing on heroin. A lot cheaper than it was in the 60s. So there's all kinds of things happening in our country that you might think are worse, but it's actually what our nation is undergoing a tremendous amount of strain due to illegal immigration, a strain on our services, our government services, education, medical. And then you've got young people, amoral or immoral, literally turning to heroin as a way out. So you've got a demoralization process happening in America. And people still think that it's really getting bad and it's really worse. Yeah, they're making it worse because they're creating an environment of negativity. Now, frankly, a lot of us could live on $36,000 a year, $3,000 a month. But the government would never, ever give us any of that money. They want to funnel it to the black op money. They want to funnel it to the Wall Street welfare recipients, the too big to fail companies that get all that money. They don't want to give it to the American people. So all the American people would really need in sum total is $36,000 a year, and we'd all do just fine. Yeah. You could live on less than that because you're frugal and single. I know. I could too. But for the most part, if every individual in America got $36,000 a year, that would be a very interesting cost to our nation's budget. Let's take a look at that. I think you're looking at probably $6 trillion a year in net cost. Let's take a look. Take my little calculator out here. There's 310 million people times $36,000. Okay, there's the million. Here's the billion. Oh gosh. 100,000. Million. Billion. Okay. $11 trillion that's going to cost us. So we can't afford that. We can't afford to give everybody in America, including illegal aliens, $11 trillion. It's not going to happen. But if we took all the people in America who are on government pension plans and gave them $36,000 instead of $60,000 to $110,000, then our nation would save money. We wouldn't have to spend more money. We are actually saving money. That's a Bomar Explorer, one of the first online internet calculators ever created. Kamuka Bra? Okay, are you in Hawaii or something? Well, Uncle Lester, equal distribution in the Soviet Union after World War II was more like, we will take your farm and it's now government property, and you will produce food for the rest of the city dwellers. That was the distribution plan. So a lot of farms were pissed off during that time period. That's one of the reasons why the Soviet Union fell. Farmers didn't have any incentive to grow food for city dwellers. And they couldn't send food into the cities like Moscow quick enough. And they didn't have a good transportation system. So a lot of bad things happened during this time period. Okay, we got a lot of serious people running for president, talking about running for president. I know there's talk about this fruitcake. I'm sorry, Jesse, I'm kidding. It's a joke. This fruitcake running for president. There's talk about this guy, the donut man, running for president. These are the kind of discussions people are having about the future of our great nation. So we went from hiring an illegal alien Muslim homosexual as our president to a flaming whack job or a donut eater. Wow. Oh, and Howard Stern wants to run for president. And I understand Ted Cruz wants to run for president, and he's not even a U.S. citizen. Somebody said Ted Cruz is actually a Canadian. But under the new laws generated by the Democrats, they say maybe Ted can run. I don't think Hillary will get it. I think she's completely lost the message completely. She's completely out of the loop. Hillary Clinton has too much baggage to make it out of the starting gate. This woman has a tremendous amount of anger. She can't answer to the harsh reality that she literally screwed up on Benghazi, big time. And I think she's got enough marks against her to take her down. Her history with Bill Clinton. You know, the American people don't want the same old anymore. They really aren't. They're tired of it. They see their dollar dwindling, and they know there's something wrong with the Federal Reserve that does this. It turns their dollar into, something that's not worth very much. We know there's something wrong with that. This is a trend that just doesn't get any better. Our dollar's value has been declining because the Federal Reserve keeps printing up money to cover the mistakes of the two-party system. Everybody knows that we are literally bankrupting our future. We're borrowing from tomorrow to pay for today. Bernie Sanders, I need to get a picture of him. Bernie Sanders is running. I think he should be running to the bathroom, personally. I like Bernie Sanders, but I don't know if he's presidential material. He won't galvanize the American people behind a brand new message. And he hasn't articulated a brand new message either. He's kind of like a washed out liberal turned independent. Now, as much as I was a liberal, I still am a liberal. I have socially liberal values. But Bernie, I don't know. Bernie he's a good looking guy. He looks a lot like me. Let's take a look. Bernie, how you doing? I think he and I could be brothers. Whoopsie daisy. He's kind of a cute little mouth there. Okay, let's move on. Read what you wrote. Scissor fight. Let's take a look. Sanders, I'll decide on the presidential run by March. I think he's going to probably need a good stack of Depends underwear, and he'll do fine in the primary. But what is he going to run as? He's not running as a third party. Run as a third party? I mean, you don't even have a third party. You think David Letterman watched this show? Golden Orbs, how are you? What do you think about Jeb Bush running for president? Oh, there's another one. Jeb Bush, I got to get his picture too. I've got to put all these pictures away. It's important I have pictures of every presidential candidate out there. Is Barack Obama going to try to run again? I mean, I don't think he ever read the Constitution, so he might. He might try to run. And let's get Jeb Bush. I'd need a Jeb Bush picture. Is he a socialist? Oh, he's going to run into the Socialist Party, yeah. That's possible. Talk about a brown noser. Let's take a look at this guy. Oh, wow. What if I ever saw a crap-eating grin, that would be that grin right there, Jeb. Okay, let me get back to the show. We'll retire out the... So I think Chris Christie's not going to be running. It's not. So let's eliminate a couple people right now. Jesse Ventura, he can't run because he's been living in Mexico surfing, and you have to live in America for 14 consecutive years before running. Well, that's out. Jesse Ventura's out. I'm not going to rule Hillary out, but I will take Ted Cruz out because he is a Canadian. That's okay. Well, it's going to get more intriguing in just a second. If you could just get your head out of your ass, that'd be great. He keeps popping up. So now you got Barry Sanders and Jeb Bush up on the block. So you really think that we're going to have another George Bush, aka another Bush? That's ridiculous. Well, let's be clear. Bernie Sanders. Chris Christie's laying in the background. I'm still keeping him on the board because, he's lost a lot of weight. He lost like 3 pounds. Elizabeth Warren has said repeatedly that she's not running again. Yeah, I think that donut, if he pulled it out of his hand, he'd lose a few ounces. But he's lost a lot of weight, yeah, like 3 pounds. Marco Rubio, let's not forget him. Ding, 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 ding. Let's put him over Chris Christie because he's got a little bit more marketability in the Hispanic market. The father from the Duck Commander might run, yep. There's talk of Paul Ryan running. This is getting a little confusing. Let me put him over the other guy that looks like him, George Bush. Everything is getting confusing here. Jeb, come on out. Jeb's coming out. Bernie Sanders, Jeb Bush, Marco Rubio. Let's make Jeb the big contender for Hillary, okay? And we got all the Americans going, well, maybe we need a Republican president and a Republican Congress, and then everything will be just great, like it was with George W. Bush. Paul Ryan's definitely a funny one. I put him in the category with Bernie Sanders as probably not going to make it. Marco Rubio has a pretty good possible chance to win the Republican nomination. But there's this other guy, and I don't want you to forget his nagging presence in the political lexicon. We're going to show you the real Republican in the wings, who's been playing party politics like no other. Rand Paul. Wow. Here's a wild card for you. Yeah, I'm not sure what to do with this guy. His official congressional portrait. We'll take a look at that. Rand is all over the place. He wants drones across the skies of the United States, much like the Democrats want that. He wants invasion of our privacy. Rand's got a lot of weird things up his sleeve. Ever since his father said, hey, why don't you run, son? he's been wanting to run. And he ran and he won. And he's had a strong presence out there. I don't know where to put them. It's like, I'm going to put him next to, I think he and Marco Rubio and Chris Christie are all about equal right now. Chris Christie, I understand, is an excellent speaker, especially with a donut in his mouth. He's got, does really well. So let's make Chris Christie, Rand Paul on the same level, and then Marco Rubio. And the unknown soldier. All right. I forgot Ted Nugent. Oh, gosh. Ted Nugent. Thank you. Boy, Ted Nugent could run, everybody. Let's take him. Picture of him. This is getting exciting, isn't it? The race is getting already started. We're getting to go. Moving forward. Oh, my gosh. I forgot Donald Trump. Okay. It's getting crowded out there in media land. Ted? We'll bring Ted in. Ted's got a better chance of winning than I think Bernie Sanders. Of all these people on right here, I think that the top dog is going to be Rand Paul. But I'm gonna put him right there, kind of like up against Paul Ryan. And let's bring in Donald Trump. Now, if Donald ran, Golden Orbs would vote for Donald. Let's bring in Donald. You're fired! You're fired! Bill Cosby. Let's bring in Bill Cosby because he might run. There's a Donald. Let's put him up there with Hillary because he kind of stands in the way of Hillary. I like Donald, by the way. Donald's been in our room a couple times. He says, keep up the good work. Yeah, keep up the good work. I'm running because I'm in the show. And Bill Cosby. I've got a picture of Bill Cosby somewhere here. Oh, Bill. Where art thou, Bill? Here he is. He's had a little growth problem. His body isn't quite 100%, but there's Bill right there. So Bill Cosby running. That's nice. Yep. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's a tumor. Who knows? The White House doctor will work it out. It could even be a pregnancy. Rand Paul, the same guy who promotes the use of domestic drones, I want to vote for him. Yeah, I know. I can't believe Rand Paul would do that. Support domestic drones. I just don't. I'm the guy who actually responds every night to chat and is most transparent. Most transparent on net. Paul Ryan worships Ayn Rand. Imbroglio knows inside information on Paul Ryan. Does Marco stand out? Oh, we forgot Bobby Jindal. Oh my gosh. Hang on. I'll tell you how completely constipated the Democratic Party is. They can only think of one candidate, Hillary Clinton. And like I said, yeah, Rand Paul is a neocon, I agree. God, this just gets worse and worse. And there's a guy named Castro who wants to run. You heard about that guy? He's probably going to run on the platform of getting rid of normalizing relationships with Cuba. Well, let's be clear. We're going to open a door of trade with Cuba and allow communists to pour in here on boats. Great plan, Barack Obama. What an idiot. I would have opened a small door of trade. Ever so small. I would have said, yes, you can deliver Cuban cigars into our country like you're doing. We won't tax you or tariff you. And then we'll allow all your public doctors to come in. And we'll make lots of public doctors in our public hospitals. You're right, Mitt Romney. Shall we push Bill Cosby out of the race?
Yes.
Because I don't think he's officially running. All right. Let me get Bobby Jindal in, because he's in the race too. And we already pulled out Ted Cruz because he's a Canadian. Okay, Bobby Jindal might run on the Republican Party. This is getting so confusing. I'll pull him out. I know. I can't imagine. Many people are thinking that Cosby isn't anything like the women alleging he did. Yes. I propose a flat tax of 10% on all income over 100,000. Thank you, Dwight. Quote me anytime you want. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Oh, I forgot Mitt Romney. Hang on. Well, if he dresses like he did outside that gas station when he was pumping gas. Oh, Mitt. Wow, my Mitt Romney picture disappeared. Or it's just hiding somewhere. Am I not sure where Mitt went? That's weird. Let's see. I don't know, we should represent everyone here, don't you think? Do you think everyone should have a chance to get in the election? Okay, what about this guy? The unknown black guy. You think he'll win? Yeah, I don't know. You think a black will win another? Oh, there is a. Oh, I forgot. There's one black guy. Ben Carson.
What about
Ben Carson? There's talk about Ben Carson. Bobby Jindal is not black, but he's a minority.
But you're right about Ben Carson.
Ben Carson looks like the Republican pick if Jeb doesn't win it. I'm going to give you a picture of Ben Carson. He's a pretty interesting guy.
I went to go see him speak.
You did?
Yeah, I actually went to a church and saw him speak at his church.
Were you impressed with the guy?
I've always been impressed with him. I actually read his autobiography.
Okay, Ben Carson is going to be perceived by the black community as a guy who's mostly white. But that's okay. That's what Barack Obama was. And Ben Carson could easily be another Barack Obama to the Republican Party. The question is, do we need a theme for the next president? Does it have to be like a theme thing? We want another... No, I'm not a Marxist, Dwight. Nothing about what I'm doing is Marxist. In fact, my family's been fighting communism for the past 50 years. And I can honestly say that Barack Obama is communist. And I can honestly say that I am not. All right? If you want to know where I'm at politically, I'm a centrist. I'm a social liberal, I'll admit that. I care about homelessness and I care about some of the core problems with the underclass, people who don't have opportunity. But I'm not going to bankrupt your tax dollars to finance a social welfare state. I believe in downsizing the nation's enlarged economy, cutting back on federal spending in every way we can. Obama's actions are right out of Karl Marx's handbook, I agree. And you know, the whole Cloward-Pivens Act is played out right now with the Democrats. They're pushing so hard to push us towards socialism, it's ridiculous. I have not forgot Mitt Romney. Coming up on a show, Mitt Romney make an appearance on a show. Hold on. I'm trying to get everybody in the race, so everybody credible. I pulled Ted Cruz out because he gets booed off the stage, and even though he wants to be president, it's unlikely he's going to make it. I got to tell you, Mitt Romney put up a good fight, but not good enough to beat Barack Obama. And one of the reasons why Mitt Romney fell in the polls and in the final tally of the election results in 2012 was because Mitt Romney actually didn't even acknowledge what Donald Trump asked him to do. He made a couple big boo-boos. Number one, the big problem about not caring about the 47%. That cost Mitt Romney quite a bit in the race. Let's take a look at the possibility that, oh, here he is. Here's Mitt Romney right after the 2012 election in La Jolla, California, pumping gas. Seriously. This shot was taken of him right after the election results came in La Jolla, California, of him pumping gas. Isn't that funny? But he did represent a large class of rich capitalists who want to control the country. So being Mitt Romney is kind of center stage, we'll put him center stage, right there, amidst the other two. All right, I think we got it all covered now. Howard Dean's not going to run. He'd rather stay with his wife, who likes to make hyena sounds. Well, it shows he's a regular guy. I like that, yeah. But you notice the biggest, most important person in the show is the person with the biggest face, and that's me. I don't want him as our president. I think Mitt Romney is too controlled by big business. Big companies like Bain Capital made money on exploiting U.S. labor. They bought up companies and sold them for next to nothing. D.T. Laura does not like Trump because he's not compassionate enough. Plus, his hairdo is atrocious. People are wondering, wow. But aside from, superficial things like hairdo, I mean, you guys need a president that not only looks the role, but actually has good message and is spot on when it comes to reaching out to the American people on a passionate level. And I think I qualify for all of those terms, personally. I think it's pretty obvious who should win the next election. It's a no-brainer for me. I'm a little bit biased, being I am running for president. I'd vote for myself. All of those politicians are in the corporate pocket, and I never will be. That's one thing I am different than all the people on the board right now. Even Bernie Sanders, I could say, is in the back pocket of a few contributors. Rand Paul is definitely in the back pocket. He didn't even want to run. This guy right here, he did not want to run until somebody talked him into running because his dad was a very famous politician. And now he's got that glimmer of, I want it all. I want to control the country. I want to dominate everyone. That's how he sounds to me. He doesn't want to work on bipartisanship. Thank you, Trolzar. I do have a comprehensive energy policy, and if you went to America's Third Party, you'd see it. Our entire approach is to build a backbone of energy based on the Keystone Pipeline, ethical use of environmental policies, as well as building up renewable energy to the point where we can produce up to 30% renewable energy in America. I'm in favor of zero-point energy solutions. I want to tell all the oil companies to meet me publicly in front of C-SPAN and talk to the American people about their strategy for maintaining strong oil independence for the near future. Well, Mitt Romney would kiss the ring of the Illuminati. That's basically, I don't believe that. Well, you might have a good point. Mad Dog made a good point. I almost believe that Mitt Romney was kept out of the loop, that he was purposely kept out of the loop of the presidency. I think they knew that he wasn't going to win. They always knew that. But they never really told him that he wasn't going to win. They basically kept him in the dark. I think Mitt Romney put a lot of money into the race, of his own money. I think he genuinely wanted to be a good president. As much as in favor of what a lot of you guys, Republicans, I know, are in the room wondering, well, how come he didn't come out strong on the border issues? Well, he did. He actually said that people should self-deport. But that's kind of a harebrained idea. Don't you think having Mitt Romney tell people they should self-deport? Nobody's going to self-deport. Many of you did vote for Mitt Romney, absolutely. But, a lot of points that he made about getting American small business back on track were spot on, and I totally agreed with him. You would vote for Romney again? Okay. Well, that's understandable. He still garnishes a lot of respect. Do you have any belief at all in Jeb Bush, who's remained relatively silent and almost like a Calvin Coolidge type character? Or a Grover Cleveland type character, either one. No, he's more of a Calvin Coolidge type character. I'm more of a Grover Cleveland type character. Okay, you believe that Mitt Romney has scruples and conscience, but he is a Mormon, and there's never been a Mormon president. So in a way, it's kind of an attempt to gather some momentum just for, religious freedom. I voted for myself in 2008 and 2012, Shrek. I don't even believe any of these people on the board could solve America's problems. I believe they're all weighed short of what we need. Look, I don't want to throw money at problems like Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney mindlessly said to the American people that he was going to create 14 million jobs. He never, ever answered to anybody at all as to where those jobs would come from. He trivialized the importance of the votes of 47 million people. 47% of the population. He trivialized their purpose. And I think that for that, he lost the election. But when you see what Newt Gingrich did about him, when you see the movie King of Bane, Newt Gingrich did a great job of laying on the line that Mitt Romney's all about money. He's all about the money. Now, do we need another rich industrialist to run our country? I don't think so. We've already got Barack Obama, who's a rich 1% American who's all about the money. He and his Michelle, whatever it is, transgender lover, husband, wife, whatever. Romney paid 10% and he lied about the taxes he paid, right? I wouldn't doubt it. I just don't think we need a person who's part of the status quo to change the status quo. It's not going to work. Well, corporate is people too. Yeah, but corporate doesn't care about people. And this is where the Republicans have screwed up royally. Corporations care about profit. Always have, always will. So when a guy who's sucking up to the corporate the entire corporate totem pole comes into as the president, he doesn't care about the people, he cares about the profit of the corporations. Well, all I'm saying is these scams were actually legal. Buying up companies is not illegal. When he bought up all those companies and by Bain Capital, buying them up and putting all those 1,200 and some odd people, 1,200 people lost their job because of Romney, U.S. citizens. And when he sold those companies after bankrupting them and borrowing against them and sold them to foreign countries, how is Romney helping America? And I ask everybody who really are strong supporters of Mitt Romney, how is a corporate-controlled puppet going to in any way help the average American, especially when he doesn't care about us? I mean, come on. How many people, how many millionaires and how many rich sons of presidents have to become president for the American people to wake up and build their own political party and put their own president in power so that we can uproot the powers that be? When is it going to happen? How many kiss-ass, glad-handing presidential candidates do we need, just like Bush, before we realize we've been hoodwinked as a nation? He's churched up, yeah, but the wrong church. There's not a lot of Christians that are going to vote for a Mormon. They'd probably be more likely to vote for a man like me who believes in God and is no longer a part of the Catholic Church. I abandoned my religiosity when I was 11 years old. But I still believe in God, and I still believe all of us have a greater purpose here. Cult of the Cow, I won't endorse a nationwide gay marriage law, but I will protect gays from discrimination. The reason why I don't want a nationwide gay marriage law is because I don't believe the government should be involved in marriage, period. It's clearly a breach of the separation of church and state for the government to get involved with marriage, period. Flyman, if I didn't live, if I didn't survive, if, say I was assassinated in my attempt to run for president, you would not be safe with any of these people. Bernie Sanders, let's talk about what would happen if I were assassinated and Bernie Sanders were to move forward. Well, Bernie Sanders right here, he's got a solid mind for where this nation needs to get accountable, ending terrorism, but he also wants to make the CIA accountable. And he cares about the environment. And he doesn't like party politics, and I like that about Bernie Sanders. Donald Trump, he's openly stated that 30% tax on China is necessary. I think a 15% ecological tariff is necessary, but 30% I think is too much. But he's strong on America and building American business. Hillary Clinton, she's going to be a mouthpiece for the New World Order and the powers that be, just like Barack Obama. Hillary Clinton will do the same agenda of starting a war with Syria. She's already said she's going to move in harder. The agenda is to start a war with Syria and ultimately piss off Russia. And Hillary Clinton as our president, ironically, because she doesn't possess the nice diplomatic skills that Sarah Hart has, who's my vice presidential running mate, Hillary Clinton is going to piss off a lot of people, especially some of the hardline patriotic countries, or excuse me, paternal, not maternal, but paternal countries. Countries like Russia, some of the Chinese nations, Asian markets will be very upset. There's a lot of Saudi Arabians that would be very upset if Hillary Clinton won. Hillary has a history of problems. Going back too far, we need a person who's impeccable, who doesn't have a history of problems pissing people off. You know, Jeb Bush's answer to everything is to remain silent. That's been his style so far. And because of this silence, he thinks he's playing a fair game. Bobby Jindal has been hiding in the rears too. He's not really that vocal because he did a very bad job of responding to Barack Obama in a Republican speaking engagement that he had a chance to speak in. Jeb is not a strong speaker. Ben Carson is the stronger speaker in the Republican Party. And he seems to have everything they need. The African American vote, they'll probably pull some Spanish votes. Marco Rubio is a real kiss ass that could very well maneuver his position into the Republican hierarchy and try to kiss ass all the way to the top. But he doesn't have the connections that Chris Christie has. Now, if somebody were to make the move in the Republican Party, it would be Chris Christie versus Mitt Romney. But those are very dark zones in which a president becomes owned by the mob or corporate America. I think that's bad. I think the Republican base will vote for a minority candidate. Absolutely. They're tired of the same old stuff. Look, I offer not a socially conservative message other than my first trimester requirement for women, that they get abortions within the first trimester. But I'm very socially conservative on the idea of keeping illegals out. And no Republican is strong on that. Vorpalbite says Ben Carson is against the Second Amendment, so he's out.
Well, he's against the Second Amendment.
He's out. Jeb Bush, we'll leave him up at the screen. I think we've all agreed that Paul Ryan looks too much like Eddie Munster to possibly make it to the top. I mean, isn't it safe to say that Paul Ryan is Eddie Munster? I don't know why you say I'm Eddie Munster. I'm not Eddie Munster. I'm Paul Ryan.
Oh my goodness. You're making me laugh so much. Oh my goodness.
You're laughing? What?
Yeah, I was laughing at you.
Really?
I'm not Eddie Munster.
Okay, good. What I'm going to offer to minorities is an opportunity to build their lives up. Unlike Hillary, who has absolutely no ideas to recover our economy, I've got one hell of an idea, and it can be integrated right into the housing department of HUD. Housing and Urban Development, within the same fund parameters that we're currently working on, can develop a plan we call the Homestead Renewal Plan, which will build jobs. Shovel-ready jobs, making $10 an hour. Anybody can do these things, painting houses, and you can begin learning a trade of installing solar panels with our solar rooftop program. This is a powerful tool, and this will very well revive our economy from a dead stop. But we need to start realizing that if we don't generate American jobs, and if the government doesn't lead the way, we'll never ever be able to help the private sector. But I also like the private sector. I want to lower restrictions and any regulations on small business so that we can grow jobs. Small business grows jobs. 60% of the new jobs will be coming from small business. People are lost, Monarch. Okay, Paul Ryan looks like the guy hand over fist with Black Ketty. Oh, really? I didn't know that. Thank you. Hand over fist? That sounds kind of sexual. David, this is how the majority of the world's elite are controlled. Those in power find the biggest degenerates they can fund and rise to power. Once they are, they feed the children and document it. They feed them children and document it. Now they own the person for life. Yep. That's exactly how it's done. You nailed it on the head there. And trolls are, the CIA is complicit in this type of activity. I wouldn't doubt the FBI is shielding a pedophile ring in Washington, D.C. I've even talked about it in my video at my YouTube channel, Missing the Kids Cover-Up. Missing Kids Cover-Up. There's 50,000 missing kids in America every year. And I don't mean parents taking their kids, I mean they're missing. Can we rule out Rob Jindal? Thank you. Okay, now we're down to Mitt Romney, Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton. I'm going to put Rand Paul ahead of Chris Christie and Marco Rubio. Anyone seriously think Ted Nugent's going to actually win the Republican nomination? Please stand up. Anybody think he's going to win? He's got a winning smile, I got to tell you. He does. It's a very winning smile. It's the kind of look that you only get with press-on veneers. I think he's got my teeth, honey. I think Ted Nugent bought my teeth. Something about it. It's just too weird.
Or he's their model.
He's their tooth model?
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm working on facial contortions. I'm trying to fit my face into all of these faces. Let me see if I can work on getting this guy to look. I don't think I could look like this guy. No, I could never be a bigger kiss ass than that guy. And we all know that George Bush is not going to run again. He can barely run to the bathroom.
His dad is sick.
His dad's sick. I know his dad's in the hospital. Okay, is this exciting enough for you, or are we boring you to tears? I mean, because I can do better. You know, we've got all tomorrow night with the anti-war rally. We can talk about how they've used all the powerful money interests, gaining more power and money by investing in military-industrial hardware and munitions and ordnance, and they get more money when they start a war. So we'll talk about that tomorrow night. You guys still think Hillary is the best one, though? I know. You know, I'm going to pull Rand Paul off the list because he's too greedy, and he wants drones, commercial drones everywhere. Marco Rubio, I'm thinking watered down, glad-hander, doesn't have a personal opinion, not subjective enough in any way to lead the nation. Too objective, too much of a kiss ass, not enough backbone. Let's get rid of him. And I think we're going to have to retire. I'm going to with Chris Christie. I have to say I agree with the former presidential doctor who was the doctor for Bill Clinton and George W. Bush. Chris Christie is not fit to run. He's too overweight. Even if he lost another pound and a half, which I think that's his diet plan, lose another pound. And I think Bernie Sanders is up there because it's like a sacrificial attempt to find a guy who looks just like Woody Allen. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I think these are the facial match here. Let's take a look. Yep, we've got a Woody Allen look-alike here, folks. That's got to be the reason. I think the real reason why he's running is he looks like Woody Allen. Okay. That's got to be the reason. There's no other reason why anyone would do that. The list is real bad. What list? David, why doesn't Trump have the balls to distance himself from the RNC? Dwight, I've asked Trump that myself. And I never got a return out from the IM that I sent him. Yeah, well, we wouldn't want to be associated with that. So it's really down to just, Mitt Romney's still on the board. Okay. I think we got our running. Let me introduce the new candidate for America. Me, David Sponheim. You think it's going to be Clinton versus Romney versus David Sponheim? I kind of figured that's where you were headed with this. In fact, I knew that's where you were headed. It is truth. We are in the after show, and we are coming to the final minutes. You notice I didn't mention one thing about Hillary Clinton being involved in the shipment of chemical weapons to Saddam Hussein. I won't mention that until I get national coverage. Then I'm going to bring up her association with the Lafarge Corporation, and that should put her to rest. Trump is a puppet. Yeah, I don't think Trump can make it unless he runs under my banner, a third party. I agree with you. Trump should leave the RNC and join our third party, and if he did, he'd have a very good chance of pushing Sarah out of the vice president's position. I know. She's got very bad Botox. I know. I tell him, Trump, you're fired. I'm not going to suck up to the powerful elitists at the Federal Reserve. You're fired. Yeah, Trump is not. See, I think the final decision here is between Hillary and Mitt Romney. I hate to say it, but Mitt's back in the game.
Mitt, really?
Yeah. The Republicans can't come up with anything original, so what they're going to come up with is a guy they can rely on. And, of course, me, yes. I don't think the Republicans are going to endorse me, though. Okay, you don't think Trump's a smart man? Okay, my thoughts on countries attacking us with cyber attacks. What should we do in response? Drunk Santa, I'm going to throw something out that's going to freak you out right now. You know, all these cyber attacks. Imagine the environment for a cyber attacks. Number one, the government must be looking the opposite way to let companies like Sony and PlayStation and obviously Xbox getting hacked. Yeah, I'd like to see that, Trollzar. I've got some solar panels. Could you find out? I'd like to see how to monetize them. Send me a link. Well, I think what is going on is it's kind of preparing us for a false flag event after event where we see hacks going on in the world around us, corporate hacks everywhere. If the government was behind this, and if my chat is getting nuked, if the government was behind this, what they're trying to do is create the environment to impose harsher restrictions on the internet, limiting all of our access and saying they have to clamp down on the internet. And there's a 300-page bill in the wings. Unknown. I don't really care if you believe the Illuminati exists or not. It doesn't matter. But thank you. Well, I pray every day. I'm a very spiritual person, and I will lead. But I got to tell you, if we sit back and watch all these things perpetuated, this hoax that North Korea is behind the attack on Sony, which has no validity at all at this point. We've seen it as an internet hoax at this point. It's basically an urban myth. And then we see stories about how Nintendo, or rather PlayStation and Xbox were both hacked today. It's possible they're making an environment, the government could very well be doing this, to make the environment to impose more restrictive legislation on the internet, to shut it down even more. We already know that my blackface videos and my YouTube channels have been suppressed. But did you know that americasthirdparty.com and our link to YouTube and youtube.com/americasthirdparty, we haven't had new hits in 3 years. We're still at the same number of hits, except the ones that come in on a daily basis, our show. We now record our show. It's in archive every day, 3 hours in the bag. If you want to catch our show, when you missed a day, you can. But the hit counters aren't moving on all of our other sites, all of our other videos, all the way back 6 years ago. They've stayed exactly where they are. They haven't moved at all. Today we played Mad Dog. We played Battlefield 3 and Call of Duty Black Ops on our gaming game. Thank you. Well, maybe they were DDoSed and not hacked, right? Yeah, Xbox, PlayStation was DDoSed, Dead 2009 says. That's entirely possible. But the Sony hack could have been a government-intruded hack. We don't know that. That's exactly the point. Julian Assange, Anonymous, Snowden, etc. Yeah. Well, if that was their message, trolls are, that's probably where they're headed. They're trying to create controlled opposition, false flags, push the American people to the edge where we have to accept a controlled intranet, and everyone should pay. for access, and they would charge us for a video show like this, and Mark Vaughn would have so many expenses he couldn't even face operation capability. He couldn't keep the show up. I will be able to negotiate with Vladimir Putin. I have a strong sense that his ultimate goal is to protect the Russian people. As a true leader, he would totally want to do that. I understand his goals and directives. I'm not reacting to the fact that Barack Obama has called him terrible names. I'm going to try to ameliorate the situation, soften it, recognize that we didn't like Barack Obama, that I ran against Barack Obama, and that the American people have finally come to their senses and voted for a third party to challenge the status quo of warring and starting wars and seeding wars, but rather to get a guy out there that doesn't want to do that. And I think he and I can touch base on the simple facts that I'm a supporter of the nation-state model, not a global world elitist. I don't want a new world order. And I think Vladimir Putin has been very articulate on a global level in explaining the surreptitious methods in which the World Bank and the IMF have secretly been undermining his economy and trying to destroy him, because he stands in the way of total world domination. I don't want a global government. Unlike the Democrats, I want a nation that protects its borders, brings its troops home and guards the borders and protects its nation and builds its economy. I want to be known as the president that introduces brand new technologies that'll save the world, where Americans can make money on enterprises that develop these technologies. I will not sit back and watch our country slide into second world status under China. We will still remain the strong leaders in industrial development that is completely compatible with the environment, unlike China, which is kind of the old world at this point. They're not compatible with the environment. They've destroyed their environment to try to duplicate our rise to power. And it's costing their people dearly. They're running into drought. There's a massive drought in China. There's also a huge pollution problem in the Yangtze River. It's believe me, China is... They're going to start, their infrastructure will start crumbling rather soon. We have a better foundation as a nation, can continue to grow. But boy, do we have to control the illegal aliens that are coming in the border. These Democrats, Republicans have done nothing to limit the flow of immigration, illegal immigration into our country. Well, you are DJ Bad Boy, don't go down that route. If you create an intranet in this country like North Korea has, it will be completely controlled, and the last vestige of chance for our freedom on the blogosphere will be completely shut down. Look, at when I told you my hit counter hasn't moved in years, it's true. They are censoring us. They are stifling the voice of a third party. And the reason why I do this show every night, believe it or not, is because it's the one thing that they cannot control. Okay? And I want you all to know that this is a long-term commitment I've made. I'm not giving up, and I'm just getting started. Well, you build your own independent net. You can do that right now with an open and free internet. But there's too many chances for the intranet to be formed and a control that you'll never, ever recoil from. Our country will never come back from control. If Comcast and Clearwire, and Verizon, all these companies get together and build an intranet, and it's almost at the point where they could do this because they control the all of the communication is running through a couple pipelines right now. If they did this, this nation would begin the final straw that broke the camel's back. The only good thing about this country still remaining is the free internet. Our nation has become a controlled society with a mainstream media that's totally bought off, with the people totally sucking up to the greedy pigs that get these kind of people elected. Hillary Clinton, you don't deserve to be president. You've been a bad person. You're done. Oh, and you won't legalize pot. I might want to remind you of that. Mitt Romney, you won't legalize pot either, and you're too rich to run for president. Your corporate ties, we don't need your corporate ties. We don't need a president that represents corporations anymore. You're done. There's only one choice for America in 2016. It's David Sponheim. Thank you for coming in, everyone. I want to say good night. Have a great evening. Enjoy your holiday. I will never forget my supporters, your DJ Bad Boy. I'm even inviting a lot of you people. I'll check it out, Ozzy. I'm even inviting a lot of you people who are our supporters to join our administration. That means a job in your area, working for the government if you really want it. I'm not going to be different than the two parties in that way. We will help supporters and get us to the next stage. Okay, I agree. Facebook must face a lawsuit over the new attempt to track everybody's global positioning satellite. Merry Christmas, Cult of the Cow. Good night, Mad Dog. Thank you, DC Laura, for coming in. Okay, mate. Take it easy, Ozzy. I assume you're from Australia. Look at Mad Dog. You can love Mitt Romney all you want. I don't buy anybody that's all about profit. Sorry. We need a person who's selfless and non-materialistic as our president in the future. We can't rely on some crony of the Republican Party to lead us out of this terrible situation we're in. Secretary of Payday Loans, that's a possibility. By the way, payday loans will be coming back under my presidency. I want all of you to know that all those businesses that closed will get a chance to reopen. Barack Obama and Jim Talent were the reason why payday loans shut down. Barack Obama and Jim Talent put together legislation that made it impossible for payday loan companies to even operate. So, I got to tell you, it's a strong point with me because one of my clients for years was a payday loan facility. I lost business because of Barack Obama and Jim Talent. The payday loan company actually offered points to buy items and catalogs at the end of the year. It wasn't like they were sucking money. So yeah, Uncle Lester, yeah, I wouldn't, seriously, if you really want to get involved in payday loan production, we'll get you in a position where you can help. All right. Mormons are good people, and I did not mean to defame Mormons here, but you all know that many Christians have a problem voting for Mormons, and that's why I threw that out there. All right? It leaves Hillary in a convalescent home, Dwight. Dwight says, so David, if you get 2 terms of Hillary, where does that leave us for 2024? It'll leave us in a ultimate situation where I'll still be running, but in no way will we be able to reel from the destructive economic pressure that her socialist communist agenda would put on this country. And remember, Hillary was on record recently saying businesses don't create jobs. And Barack is on record saying, well, make no mistake about it, the government is not responsible for creating jobs. So we're on record right now with a Republican, basically both Democrats saying neither business nor the government should create jobs. So who should create jobs? Well, never say never. Loopy-doo, the reason why I'm not mainstream because there's so many people like you that come into our room without a brain cell in your head. I'm going to ban you. Take care, everybody. Good night. I'm going to bring back a little video that we had earlier. It's the Jesse Ventura Bilderberg Group video that was playing before the show started. Thank you. I've had 320,000 views. Yes, thank you, Rubber Ducky. All right, good night, UK. Lester did donate 36 cents. Good night, Rubber Ducky. Well, I don't know if China is even going to invest in rubles. It could very well be the end of the ruble as we know it. This oil cutting of prices has really affected Russia. But whatever. China already has too many hundreds that they can't get rid of. They got rail cars full of $100 bills in China. Ruble will bounce back, yeah. Russia's a strong nation. You know that their GDP is equal to the United States GDP? Thanks for the show, Dwight. $2 trillion a year, Russian GDP is. All right, take care, everyone. Good night. Thanks for being good, strong Americans who support this great country and all it stands for. Freedom, democracy, and our great republic all can live together. All right, here's Jesse to talk about the Bilderberg Group. And by the way, I would require the Bilderberg Group to meet in public, or I would charge them with a violation of the Logan Act if they continue to meet in secrecy, and they'd all be facing charges. You too. Thank you. And I've got a Mormon who supports me. Thank you so much, Mad Dog. Good night.
The group of the elite, powerful, and influential is said to control the world. Now it's accused of planning to kill off much of the world's 6.7 billion inhabitants to make it easier to manage. Only no one knows what goes on behind closed doors.
They say we're not secret, we're private.
I need you to move off the property.
We're being kept well back from the building.
Until now. They control the money.
When you control the purse strings, you control the world.
They control the food.
We're poisoning our people.
They even decide who will live and who will die.
They want you dead, Governor.
Why?